Moto3 is about to get underway here at the wonderful Kuala Lumpur circuit. The Sepang International Circuit hosts round 20 for the Moto3 World Championship. Good morning. Hello. Good morning and welcome to all the action here for Moto3. You join us live. We're 5 minutes before the scheduled start, but we've got a red flag out on the circuit. There's been an incident on the sighting lap between Jose Antonio Rueda and Noah Deltweller. All riders are conscious, but there has been an incident on the formation lap, so the red flag has come out. The race is suspended and the starting procedure will be restarted soon. So we are in a delay. The red flag is out. Deltweller and Rueda are conscious, but there has been an incident on the warm-up lap. Let's head down to the trackside then as we wait for more news. As things stand, we're in a red flag procedure before the race has even begun. It'll be a quick restart and then we'll go again. Let's head down to TNT.
Can't stop sweating. Some riders deal with it better than others.
Yeah, big experience. We just see the British riders. Now 5 minutes, I think it's saying now, before the the warm-up lap, sorry. So yeah, 5 minutes to go until the warm-up lap. We're looking at Scott Ogden there, who qualified in 15th, and Eddie O'Shea in 16th. There's some good qualifying from Eddie this weekend.
Yeah, good results for both the Brit boys. Scott seems happier, said he's got a good chance here today on the race. Feels like the setup's there, it's working for him. He's always gone quite good around this Sepang racetrack, and Eddie's coming back here to Sepang for a second visit and been really good all weekend. Been strong, been fast, consistent, and he was unlucky not to be 11th last weekend in Australia, so the confidence that's coming with those type of results is obviously catapulted him on to further performance here this weekend, and looking forward to more points here, hopefully.
And a little bit of news this weekend. Yeah,
an announcement that Eddie will be retained with us for next season. We actually did agree it back after Mazzano, but been hanging back on the announcement until now for various negotiations. But yeah, happy to say we keep Eddie for another year, and it's been good to see his progress over recent rounds. So yeah, it's all going in the right direction.
And Hakim Danish, we see here, done well this weekend.
Yeah, wild card in, young Malaysian rider. We've watched him throughout the last couple of years. He's been doing the Red Bull Rookies, battling up at the front. He's a right little character, super, super aggressive. Like I said, he's out of place. He's actually qualified 13th. His pace throughout the weekend has been top 8, I'd say. So I'm really hoping that Danish can get a really good start. Tell you what, he's aggressive, so I'm sure he's going to be aggressive into turn 1 and turn 2 where you can make up time. So keep your eye out for him. He's on like a purpley pink bike. He's got nothing to lose. And he's got all the fans behind him.
And he's got a ride next year. That's
right, it's time for the MT helmets, hasn't his squad, which is, we know, the class calibre of that team. So he's got that secured, and he's a name of the future. You've heard it here first.
I'm feeling like there's a bit of a divide here. You're seeing some of the riders having to really, really back up against garage doors and find a little bit of shade. And then some have got the luxurious 5-star garages.
Susie, it's like when we got on an aeroplane, it's the haves and have-nots. You always turn left, me and Michael and Gav. We walk right with our long faces, dragging our way back to Cattle, and you're there, straight to first class. It's how it is, isn't it? That's life can be tough sometimes.
I mean, I'm glad you've got used to it. That's just the way it has to go, I'm afraid. Well, this is the scene here in Malaysia at the Sepang International Circuit currently. We've just got a few more minutes to go before the pit lane will open. Nat is down in the pit lane now. She's talking to Eddie O'Shea.
Yeah, Eddie just keeping cool at the moment. That's the main thing, because obviously this little bit of a delay, which is not ideal, of course, but our thoughts are with both riders at the moment. In terms of you this weekend, first weekend here, straight into Q2. It's been a largely positive weekend, topped off by a new contract for next season. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, first of all, like you say, I really hope both the riders are okay, because I've heard it was a pretty big crash. So yeah, that's the main thing right now. But yeah, for sure, it's been my best weekend to date. Straight through to Q2 on Friday, which was a massive positive, and we've been so fast all weekend. So I'm hoping to keep the momentum going heading into the race, starting from P16. So I think we can make a good race, step by step, make a few passes, and hopefully make our way forward into the front group. Getting the points. Yeah, hopefully some more points. All the best in today's race. Thanks, Eddie. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Michael, just moving things forward a little bit from Eddie was saying there, obviously you've re-signed him and he showed you enough that he's got some potential, perhaps needs a little bit of help on the other side of the garage. With Joel Kelso coming in next year, how do you see that shaping up and what can Joel do to move the team forward?
Yeah, I'm excited to bring Joel into the squad, and actually for Eddie to have an experienced front runner like Joel. He can learn from Joel, and Joel will harbour the pressure of performance, which we will as a team as well. So we've got plans in the winter we've never done the wind tunnel development, which we know Leopard do, and it's those small little differences that actually can propel you forward in Moto3, because there's nothing we can do in engine, exhaust, electronic, suspension. They're all locked. Every Honda on the grid is the same. At the moment, Eddie is quite fast through the speed traps. We're always up in the top 3 because he's quite skinny, he's very light, so we've got good speed, but the aero package can just improve acceleration. It can help everywhere, top speed, slipstream, overtaking effect. So we need to elevate ourselves as a team, and having such a lineup of Joel, a very front-running rider, a potential, well, he's going to finish 4th in the world this year in our team, alongside Eddie, having a fast young British rider on his way up with the right mindset, the right outlook and the right development. I think everything's, well, I'm looking at all the positives, which you have to do as a team, and I'm really excited for next season.
And what have you told Joel that he doesn't have to do 200 kilo deadlifts this winter? I mean, he's
stocky.
Is there anything you can do about that? I mean, obviously, I know his body fat looks, he's not carrying any extra body fat, but he's stocky,
yeah,
almost too muscular. Is that something you've thought about?
We haven't actually discussed it yet, but I actually had the same opinion, and whenever we were doing the photo shoots back in Misano, Joel stripped off to switch into his t-shirt, and I looked at his body composition. He's very lean, so he's obviously fit, works hard, but his natural predisposition is slightly wider in the hips, a little bit stocky, maybe a little bit too much muscle in his lower legs, his thighs. That's all important in part to weight, so I will discuss it with him, but I imagine he's already got trainers in place and everything. But it's one of those conversations we need to have, because we see it with Eddie, even Eddie over Marco at the moment. Eddie's a good 3 kilometers an hour faster in the speed traps just because of his size and his aero ability to get in behind the screen, getting the rider ergonomically perfect on these little Moto3 bikes. It gives you more than any horsepower. You can't find any horsepower, literally, so it is all about aero, really.
What's the story from Honda's side? I know you're sticking with them. Are there any upgrades coming?
A small upgrade, we've ordered it. We hope to have it here. It didn't arrive, which is a new exhaust package. It could give us a little bit of horsepower. We need a slight bit of punch off the turn to match a KTM. That's all we're really missing. If you look, the Honda will hold its own top speed, so it's that little acceleration off the turn. And in my opinion, engine braking, which we've requested from Honda time and time again, the way they don't calculate their RPM, so it's calculated off the rear wheel, which whenever it locks, it's really hard to be precise with your engine brake control, whereas KTM do that much better for the braking. So that is a weakness, but Honda aren't planning to rectify it at the moment. We continue to put the pressure on them. So yeah, there is hopefully a little bit of horsepower gain, and I do think we'll get a bit more maybe push and focus because we've signed Joel. We've now got a top runner in our colours, so yeah, fingers crossed. In essence, we do get everything Honda have available. You have to buy it. You're a customer team, but it's the same for every Honda team. But yeah, fingers crossed we can take that next step.
Yeah, it would be good to see everything moving forward a bit next year, wouldn't it? After 4 years, it'd be nice to see some celebrations in the MLAV racing team.
Yeah. I look back to the Petronas days when John McPhee was in there and he was able to win the odd race, and I still think we're capable of doing that. The machinery hasn't changed drastically since then. The Honda's always been a slight disadvantage. So yeah, to stand in the podium is a dream of ours as a team. So yeah, one day we'll get there.
Yeah, it'd be great to realise that, wouldn't it? If you're just joining us, there's been an incident on track between Jose Antonio Reda and Noah Detweiler, thank you. And we're waiting for news on that. So while we wait, we will take a little breather. See you in a moment.
Yeah, we are waiting for news. The latest we've got are both riders are conscious. This was on the way to the grid. Basically, Noah Detweiler was just in the middle of the circuit. And to bring you the news on this, we'll now go to our commentary team trackside.
Lap. Here was Rueda coming up. Oh!
Awful crash.
Oh.
Straight into the back of the Swiss rider, who would have had no idea what was coming. Roy, I think, just not paying attention, unfortunately, to what's going up ahead of him. He realises at the last moment, straight into the back of Noah Detweiler. That was a horrible
lap.
Yeah, so Detweiler was just slow on the exit of turn 3 up in towards turn 4, and Rueda just rode straight into the back of him. A horrible accident. Both riders are conscious. And we are just waiting for news about what is going to happen next. The race has been reduced to 10 laps for the Moto3 action. So we are going to wait to see what happens shortly. But that is a very nasty accident. So the starting grid would be David Almanza on pole position from Forasato front row. Guido Pini will then be on row 2 alongside Alvaro Carpe and Valentin Perrone. Maximo Crelas, Angel Vaqueras, Luca Lunetta, Joel Kelso, Adrian Fernandez, Rusi Yamanaka. Then it's going to be Hakim Danish alongside Brian Uratai. And then we'll get Scott Ogden, Eddie O'Shea, Rushi Moody, Matteo Bertoletti, Nicola Caro, Marco Morelli, alongside Joel Esteban, Ricardo Rossi, Stefano Neppa, Takahon Busharai, alongside then Cormac Buckerman at the back. No doubt Waller will not take part in this race. Nor will Jose Antonio Rueda, who is getting medical attention from the side of the circuit. So we are in a red flag procedure while they clean the track up. Let's head back downstairs to Susie. It should be a quick restart procedure when we eventually do get the Moto3 race running. But let's head back downstairs as we're still in the red flag for this one.
Hello, welcome back to the Malaysian Grand Prix, where we have a delay here. There's been an incident between Jose Antonio Rueda and Noah Detweiler. We've just been told that the restart will happen in 10 laps, but we have not been given a time as yet. So we are still in delay for the Moto3 race. We don't have any more news on the riders other than they are both conscious. Let's go down to the pit lane then. Nat is talking to Joel Kelso.
Well, Joel, when we do get racing again, it looks like it's going to be reduced to 10 laps. You're going from the 4th row of the grid. Just talk us through how your weekend's been here in Malaysia.
First of all, a bit strange to do an interview here in the box, obviously. The weekend hasn't been easy, and now, honestly, the 10-lap race is going to make it a little bit more difficult. We don't have the softer compound tyre for it. Our backup was a medium compound. So we'll see. We have to run with the medium compound. We'll see if we can stay with the boys in the front and try to mix it up at the end. Obviously, tyre life will not be a massive thing now, but hey, we'll try to be there.
What kind of race are you expecting now it's been reduced?
Well, now it'll be all out until the checkered flag. Really, there's no consumption on the tyre, no saving, just going straight for it.
Have a good one, Joel.
Cheers.
Yeah, so a difficult situation, really. They've reduced the lap by a third, so they're taking 5 laps off from 15 to 10, and clearly they've already used their tyre allocation, so he's in a bit of a pickle, isn't he?
Yeah, the difference is quite significant. Sometimes the soft can be worth about 4 to 5 tenths of a second, and you would work out your allocation and think, I'll use those softs for qualifying because I'm going to race the hard tyre, but it's left them in a bit of a conundrum now. You always want a backup, but it's easy in hindsight to say we should have had one on the rack, but then obviously some teams may have it, but I think the majority may have used theirs in qualifying.
This is going to change the race.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a shame. First of all, obviously it's happened. Of course, we hope the riders are okay. I quite like a tyre race, even in Moto3, where you have to manage it a little bit. It usually keeps a group together as well. Like Joel said, it's going to be all out this one now. So what will that look like? Well, it's whoever gets a whole shot is going to put their head down and go to their absolute maximum speed. So, but it still could be a group race. We've still got long straights that normally keeps a group together. So it should be a good one.
So we've got 10 laps in Moto3. And this is a strange scenario because obviously we don't know how the two riders are, and we're discussing the race that's going to happen. Everybody feels, awkward about it until we desperately want to know that they're both okay. These are, unfortunately, the highs and the lows of racing, Michael.
Yeah, and unfortunately for both myself and Neil, we've witnessed it in the past, and it does happen. It's the tough side of racing to be able to psych yourself back up again, to switch off, compartmentalize what just happened, and then when the lights go out, you click into gear again. It's what the riders do. They go on back into autopilot mode. But yeah, it is tough. They wait to hear the information about their fellow riders, make sure everything's okay. But it's good news that they're both conscious. It was an ugly crash, to be fair, on the sighting lap.
Any interruption from starting a race, it changes you in your head because you've gone into your race phase and your race plan and everything. But if it's not a weather problem or anything else, and when you know it's been an incident, how do you, as a sports person, put that into a box?
It's not actually as difficult as you would think, because to race at this level in World Championship motorcycle racing, you are well aware that it's a dangerous sport, and it's a very selfish sport. So
Well, all sports selfish.
all sports are. You've got to be super selfish. And essentially what will happen is you come back in. If you've not seen the crash, it's not going to affect you at all. If you've seen the crash, essentially, obviously, we've seen the crash. There's been a collision on the sighting lap. It looked like Detviller had a problem with his motorcycle and Rueda's hit him. So if you've seen the crash, that is going to affect you, and you want to know that the riders are okay. So the team will be telling the riders that both riders are conscious. That's the main thing. You then genuinely do forget about it. That's the selfish part, but you have to. You can't carry that with you. So you then you're chatting about, now, how's this look? So it's a 10-lap race. Have we got the soft? Right, we've got the soft. Perfect. Hey, some riders don't have the soft. Brilliant. And that's it. You are fully into, right, I need to cool down. I'm getting too hot. Have I drunk enough? And that's what you do.
Distract yourself.
You just distract yourself. You just get the information. The riders are okay, right. Let's crack on with what I'm here to do, what my job is. This is my career. And that's when you say it's selfish, you're in your own little bubble. And the team are as well. And the team will be protecting the rider, giving him, just going, oh yeah, no, it sounds like they're absolutely fine. Even actually, if they weren't fine, the team would tell the rider that. Just to let's focus on what we can control, and that's going to be the next half an hour.
And the fact of the matter is they've got a race to go and do, which has been reduced to 10 laps. As we just heard from Joel Calso, he hasn't got the right tyre now, because they could have gone soft and they haven't got any of that allocation left. Is it hard now for you to tell me how you think this race could shape up, because you don't know who's got the right tyres on the rack?
Yeah, once we see the tyre sheet, it will dictate a lot. I think the likes of a Furasato sat on the front row of the grid will have a soft. He likes to go softer than the rest, so he may have been planning to use it over 15 laps anyway. If that is the case, in some ways, he's going to change his tactic. He'll go from the off, try and get to the front. He's not quite won a race yet. He's come close, and I think he's the dark horse today. We're talking about him maybe moving up to Moto2, having never won a Moto3 race. He's done so well in the Honda Team Asia squad. I think he's maybe my favourite. He enjoys these conditions. He's, as a Japanese rider, well conditioned to riding in heat and humidity. And yeah, he's always been fast in these type scenario.
What have you made of his racecraft this year? Has that been the only point where he hasn't been able to, get himself onto that step? It's
not been that bad, because he is aggressive. Certainly the last 2 laps of a race where it all starts to happen. He's one of them who's a forcer. He'll always go forward. He's been a bit unlucky, really. And when you look at someone like Rueda, who's been so precise, how many races has he won? 10 this year.
10,
yeah. So victories, there hasn't been a lot of opportunities. Obviously, Piqueras has won a few as well. So I have not seen him do a lot wrong. I'll tell you how I see these sorts of races. These are an opportunity for a rider. So tyres aren't going to come into it as in you'd have to save a tyre. So if you've got the correct tyre, if you've got a soft and you're a mid-pack rider, these are the moments. It's almost like a damp race or a changeable weather race. These are the moments where you stand up and you take a bit more risk, and it's worth it. I'm thinking of actually Eddie O'Shea. If Eddie O'Shea is having his best weekend, his confidence is high. If he's got a soft, let's hope they have, and that's...
Have they?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. This time last year I was in the garage. I remember Scott wanted to ride the soft, and it was a bit of a you will have to conserve it. It's one of those trade-offs, and I think the Honda typically do lend themselves to going with the soft tyre, so got my fingers crossed that Eddie has. Then it means you just go all out, 10 laps. You don't worry about those last 5 laps, and the guys on the harder option will have to go all out, but in theory it'll be slower. And do you know what happens in a 10-lap race? It's quite a nice feeling, this. So the race starts and it's all action for 2 or 3 laps. Then you glance at your pit board and it'll say L7, or it might be L6. It's only 6 laps to go. Like normally when you ride around here, you do 2 or 3 laps, you glance and you're like, I've still got 12 laps to go. My body core's overheating, my heart rate's at its max, but that you won't get that sensation today, because you'll glance. You might even glance and it'll say L4, you're like, it's only 4 laps to go, and I'm in 10th. Again, I'm thinking of Eddie, or let's say if he gets a good start, I'm trying to manifest it for him. I like it.
And then you're like, only 4 laps to go, I can hang on now. I can hang on, and you get your best result, and then you build your confidence.
Yeah, well, that would be interesting to see if we get that today. If you are just joining us, we have a delay here before our first race of the day, Moto3. There was an incident on the sighting lap between Jose Antonio Rueda and Noah Detweiler, and we know that they are both conscious. We do not have any more information. The race will restart. They have lost a third of the lap, so it will be 10 laps, and currently that's all we know. So we'll take a break and see if we can find out any more information for you.
Yeah, we're going to wait to see what is going to happen as we are still in this delay phase of the race. We don't know if we're going to get a race even at the moment for Moto3. We've got time to get it all sorted, but it was a nasty accident and they are cleaning the track up, we understand, and of course giving medical attention to Jose Antonio Rueda and Detweiler as well out there on the circuit exit of turn 4. Now, what happened was, coming out of turn 3 up the hill towards turn 4, Detweiler's bike was slow on the racing line. Antonio Rueda just came out at quite an accelerated speed, ran into the back of Noah Detweiler, and both of them hit the ground with significant force. The red flags were brought out, the riders were brought back into the pit lane, and the race was suspended. So both riders are conscious. That's the latest news we can bring you. We've got no other information from trackside or race control, bar that the new race distance is going to be 10 laps in length. So we are delayed here, understandably so, for the Moto3 Grand Prix of Malaysia. We'll see what happens shortly. With all the information we are getting from trackside at the moment is that we are still delayed. No restart time has been given. The race should have, of course, started 15 minutes ago. All that is academic when it comes to getting everybody okay. This is the latest coming in. This is from Simon Patterson saying huge crash on the sighting lap at the Moto3 race. New world champion Jose Antonio Rueda has just rode straight into the back of Noah Detweiler as well. And we're going to see if we're going to get any news from race control shortly. Nothing has come up on our monitors. All that we had was 22 minutes ago that both riders were conscious, with the red flag and more updates to follow shortly. But that is the latest news we have as things currently stand. Hopefully, we will be okay and we will get this race restarted. As things currently stand, though, we are waiting for the time of the restart. As we said, David Almanza will start this race from pole position. Retire for the Sato alongside the front row. Guido Pini will now be in 4th, but effectively 3rd on the grid. Okay, let's head back downstairs then and join Susie Perry and the team trackside with hopefully some more information when we get for the restart. Susie.
Welcome back to the Sepang International Circuit here at race day, the Malaysian Grand Prix, where we are in delay at the moment. Let's go down to the pit lane then and see Nati's talking to Peter Ertl, and Guido Pini goes from 4th today.
Well, Peter, it's always a difficult situation, this, when we know an incident's happened on track, and our thoughts are with the riders. In terms of your riders who you have to look after and ultimately prepare for a race, what have you told them? How do you keep them calm in this scenario?
Yeah, the riders are informed that will be a quick start procedure and the race distance is shortened to 10 laps. So we spoke about a little bit the strategy, because make it different if 30% less distance. But currently they are in the office and cool down a little bit, and we wait till we have more information regarding the starting time.
A decent weekend for both Guido and for Brian. Obviously Brian's got that penalty, but overall has it been a positive weekend here in Malaysia?
Yeah, of course, if you have two 17-years-old boys in the garage and both are rookies, especially here, it's not easy. Circuit is very technical, and about the performance, especially yesterday in qualifying, but also by Brian and already on Friday with position 7 and 3 was very impressive. So I'm happy about the result, what they achieved till now, and but the only what is counted is race, and I hope they can finish in a good position.
Well, Brian, as I say, has that 9th-place grid penalty. How is that? I suppose that changed the strategy, didn't it? But that strategy has now changed again because of this scenario.
Of course, he was very disappointed about this, but after some time, we have to respect the decision, and that is it, and we have to focus on this start position and to make the best what is possible.
Thanks for talking to us. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Two 17-year-old rookies, got his hands full in that garage, hasn't he, really? But, well, Guido has qualified really well in 4th. And Brian, you've got to say, is massively out of position in 14th.
Yeah, but Brian Uriarte, who's only, imagine he's in his 2nd Grand Prix. He's 17 years old. I mean, what a talent. He's this year's Red Bull Rookie Champion. He's leading the Junior World Championship. We'd heard a lot about him. We knew he was good, another fast Spanish rider. But watching him yesterday in qualifying, he was roughly top 3, roundabout there, but he just didn't look out of place. And what Peter Ertl said there, this is such a technical track. It's a long lap, 2nd longest of the year. There's a reason we come here for testing, because it's got a bit of everything that makes it challenging and difficult. So super talented, and I must say, any 17-year-old Spanish rider called Brian, I'm a fan of. I mean, it's a quality name.
So even from 14th?
He's going to be right up there.
Yeah.
And even if he's got a medium rear tyre, he'll be right up there. He's one of them.
Okay.
Seriously.
Another one of them is Max.
Another one of them.
Another one of them
Spanish superstars.
is Max Quiles.
Yes.
Discuss.
Where's he qualified?
Well, his season... Well, he's on the 3rd row. He's 7th.
Quiles has been a sensation. He's had a difficult weekend. I didn't know where he qualified, but he has had a difficult weekend. Again, with Quiles, because obviously he's exactly the same as Brian Uriarte, doesn't really matter if he's got a medium rear tyre on. Does it, though?
No.
Because he'll make the difference.
Where does that difference come from, though? Is that self-belief?
Self-belief, skill. Let's think.
Maturity, like race maturity at their age, at 17 and 18 years old, they have done as many races as we had by the time we were 25.
Yeah,
maybe more.
That's the reality of them being on the little go-kart tracks at 12 years old, in training facilities with experienced people, teaching them how to lose the front, pick it up on your knee, stick your elbow down, slide the rear. They're used to hot, greasy conditions, which they're going to get today as well. And just like Michael said, and your equivalent British rider rides twice a week round a go-kart track on their own in England, on a super cold, grippy track where the front's not pushing. And we don't have the facilities in the UK, which is fact. And that's why a lot of the English riders have to go to Spain. So that's why we end up with these super sensationally fast 17-year-olds. That's the reality, because they've got a decade's worth of experience.
And ultimately, it's always a numbers game, isn't it, on who gets through?
Yeah.
So if you're a young British rider and you're a child, the route is you've got to go to Spain currently to get into this paddock, pretty much, isn't it?
Well, yes and no. The ethos from Dorna is you go the FIM Mini GP series, which is Ovales, then you go British Talent Cup, then if you have success there, you'll go European Talent Cup, Junior GP, then arrive at Moto3. But to be fast enough to be successful in all those, you got to go to Spain.
Yeah.
So you got to have the money to do it as a young family, and that is the hard thing at the moment, to be able to spend your winters down there. And it's a lot of families of the young riders, I'm so impressed with what they can do at the moment. They leave a van, let's say, at Alicante Airport, and they'll fly in on a Friday after they finish work, and they'll ride at those tracks with their peers. They'll maybe get 2 days off it, and then they'll fly back on a Sunday, and they'll go to school on a Monday, whereas all the Spanish riders are there all week. They'll finish school at 3 p.m. They'll go to the track in the evening. Even whenever it's in the winter months, they'll ride under floodlights, and they'll be doing what Neil said. They'll be folding the front. They'll be riding around cones, doing drills. So you're always a little bit behind, but the effort that's going in at the moment, and the British Talent Cup has a lot of Dorna influence, they will try and steer them in that direction, and hopefully we'll see the fruits of it. We're certainly behind Asia Talent Cup. The victor here this weekend, you know he'll go on with a Honda Idemitsu-sponsored Talent Cup program that has a full...
And then that's the route to MotoGP, isn't it?
Theirs is clear, and that's why currently this year they have Ayagura and Somkat Chantra as MotoGP riders for the first time, graduates, but it's took a 10-year period to get them there. What we're trying to do with our team, and aligned with Dorna and with the British Talent Cup, is pick those young riders out, and within the next 10 years, some of our riders currently will hopefully be on those MotoGP bikes.
And is the stalling a financial stalling? You know, do you need financial support to be able to get this going?
Without a doubt, yes. At the moment, we can provide opportunities for about 4 riders without having to bring funding, but after that, you need funding. So we as a team, we get a little bit of support from Dorna, not enough, I gotta say, and that only goes to the junior GP team that we run. The rest of it we fully fund ourselves, myself and my business partner David Elthrington. Without that, obviously we provide Eddie a ride, and that's fully free of charge last year, again next year. I know that doesn't happen for every nationality, and that's us that do it, not Dorna funded program. We do try and push them for a little bit more support. We don't get it, and it's so hard. It's hard to attract money from the UK market to fund it, but the crux of it is, with more money, more riders would get more opportunities, and we'd have more fast riders in there. But yeah, it's down to finances at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's speak to the former British Talent Cup champion then. Scott Ogden is with Nat.
Yeah, Scott just waiting patiently as we wait to start this race, which we believe is going to be cut down to 10 laps. You're going from the 5th row of the grid for this one. How are you feeling about what you've been able to do this weekend here in Malaysia?
Yeah, honestly, it's been a really good weekend compared with the last 4 or 5 races. It's been difficult for me a little bit, but yeah, we found ourselves again this weekend. I got myself in a bad position yesterday, and it cost me maybe a row or 2, so I do feel like we have top 10 pace today. It's a shame about the shortened race, because I feel like the last 5 laps were my strongest in the race run yesterday morning, but yeah, I'm excited. Ready to go. I'm focused on myself, and yeah, ready.
You've been in the points here before. Is this a circuit that you enjoy racing around, and how tricky is it?
Yeah, it's a tricky track. It's long. It's 2 really long straights. It's not my favorite track, but I feel like the last couple of years I've made progress here, and yeah, I'm excited. I think that, I don't know if Rueda's racing, but he had really good pace, so the group might stretch out a little bit if he is, and Fursato also, which I think the faster the race, the better for us. We can hopefully pick people off a little bit easier unless it's a big group, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm excited. It's hot, and yeah, ready to go.
3 races left. This is the last of the flyways before we go back to Europe. But coming to the end of this season and your first with CIP, how would you evaluate 2025?
Yeah, honestly, the first half of the season was really good. I started to make steady progress, getting the pole in Sachsenring. I was more or less a top 9-10 guy. In the races, I struggled a little bit, but still we were there every week. The last half has been difficult a little bit for me, a little bit mentally, and yeah, it's not been easy. I think everyone else improved a little bit, and we maybe didn't improve, but I feel like now we're sort of getting back to where we were with the team. The relationships are back stronger than ever, so yeah, I'm excited. We've got a few races now to make a step and try improve our weak points, which is a lot, and yeah, see what we can do going into winter.
Enjoy the race later.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, good luck to Scott a little bit later on. If you are just joining us, we've got a delay for the Moto3 race. There was an incident on the sighting lap between Jose Antonio Rueda and Noah Detweiler. They're both conscious. The race has been shortened to 10 laps from 15. That's currently all we know at the moment. We haven't had any information about the riders, and they won't tell us anything until they're certain about what they're looking at. So as soon as we know, obviously we will let you know. Before we were talking to Scott there, or before Nat was talking to Scott, we were talking about the opportunities in Moto3 and how difficult it can be if you aren't Spanish or even maybe Italian. The Australians have the same kind of problem as the Brits, really, don't they? And Jacob Ralston finds himself in an awful situation where he hasn't got a ride next year, and he's broken his wrist, and nowhere to go, and now he can't showcase himself at this really important time. Difficult.
Yeah, I feel so sorry for him, because he's in his 2nd season as a Moto3 rider, obviously an Australian rider, so he's had to up sticks, move to Europe at a really young age, and it's almost like you're in the casino and you've gone all in. And he's done a good job. He's not been slow. He's had
and you feel very much like he deserves to get a ride.
Exactly. He's done enough, definitely, to secure a ride for 2026, but the rides aren't there. And the reality is, if you look in the Moto3 paddock, look at the teams in general, there's no Australian team. It's mainly Italian and Spanish teams with Italian and Spanish sponsors, and you can't blame them. They want an Italian or a Spanish rider, preferably, so that everyone wins. And this is where we feel like we need Dorna to. We talked about it in Indonesia, didn't we, when we spoke to Carlos Espeleta? But we didn't have, let's say, this perfect example of Jacob Ralston is the example of a talented rider that's not been given a 3rd year. He started this season with a broken neck, missed some races, missed all pre-season, missed training, and has been fast and has been battling in that lead group. But unfortunately, now he's without a ride. Unfortunately, he crashed this weekend and, like I say, broke his wrist, and he's probably that's him done for the season. And then where does his career go from here is the next big question.
Yeah, exactly. Let's come back to that in a minute, because there's something else I want to ask you about. Let's go down to the pit lane. That's with Christian Lundberg from Leopard, and his rider is in pole position.
Yeah, Christian, your rider on pole position for this Moto3 race. Just how impressive was he in that qualifying yesterday?
Yes, he made a very good lap because at the end he didn't have the slipstream of Tayo, only the reference, and he pushed like a mad, and he achieved this good result. But we are not so lucky today, so we start the day with this issue on the track. We hope the best for the riders involved in this, but we are also disappointed to not have a complete race, and at least a race. We will see.
And how do you communicate that with your riders? How do they stay calm? How do you prepare for this new scenario?
I think our riders are calm. They are fully concentrated. They don't want to know what's happening on the track. And I think they are able to do the best for the race, but you never know. Sometimes when something happens on the track, every rider can swap to a different behavior in his brain. We hope that they maintain his aggressive behavior for the race.
David has been on pole before. I'm sure the nerves may still be there a little bit. Can he convert that into a podium today, do you feel?
We hope absolutely, but it was difficult to win a race for us this year. It's the first season that we never have been on the first position on the podium. So I think that this event could be the one, but we are with the finger crosses all the race. We will see.
What do you think has been the big struggle then for Leopard this season?
The last 4 laps in the race, because on Friday and Saturday we normally made a good work, and the riders are happy with the bike and they are fighting until the end with good positions also in the race. But the last 3 or 4 laps, if it's not a penalty, it's a crash. If it's not a crash, it's a touch, and we lose positions and we don't arrive on the first position in the podium, never.
Adrian Fernandez has showed some great potential this season, of course, and he's going from the 4th row of the grid for this race. What's his feeling this weekend?
This weekend, for sure, the feeling is good, because also we come from past season that Fernandez did the lap record on this track. So he loves the track. He loves also the hot conditions. Now his physical is in perfect condition. So we was expecting this race, but we will see if they're go on or not.
Appreciate you talking to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So David Almanza in pole position, and you have to say the boss there standing a little bit frustrated with the season.
Yeah, well, they're in a position that they've never been in before. I mean, that is a team. If you sign for the Leopard team, you are expected to win the World Championship. You are, literally, there. That's how it is, and that's the pressure they put on the riders. And basically, I think Almanza wasn't expected to be that guy. It was more Adrian Fernandez, who's had a real Adrian Fernandez sort of season. There's been glimmers.
Sorry, may I just interrupt you for 1 second? There is the helicopter that's taking both of the riders to the hospital. So I assume once they get there and they're assessed, we'll get some information. We probably won't get anything before then, but they have left the circuit now and they are on the way to the hospital. Sorry to jump in there.
No problem at all. No problem at all. Yeah. So, hey, there's 3 races to go. And obviously they've got one of their riders starting from pole, so the season's not over. So they'll be optimistic, and hopefully they can get a win before the end of the season.
Just to go back to that subject that we were talking about prior, about Australians and Brits and so on, and the money behind it and everything, because you have to take into consideration the amount of finance and the family, what the family have put into the situation as children riding, because to leave Australia or to split the family up, I'm thinking maybe of Senna Aegis. The mom stays in Australia, Dad Jono's in Andorra with Senna. You've got to split your family up. All the money and the finance that have gone into developing your child to get into the point before you've even turned a wheel in Moto3. It is extraordinary, isn't it?
Yeah. Like I said, you've gone all in. And that's what you have to do. It's all or nothing. You can't half do it. Casey Stoner went all in. His family, they sold the house.
Came to Britain, didn't they?
Came to the UK, lived in the northwest, Ormskirk of all places, sort of around Liverpool, with Ian Newton, who used to, they lived, he got a set up there, and they parked the caravan there, and they literally lived off cans of baked beans and packets of Special K. They had zero money, and the money they had, they bought bikes, rubbish ones at that. They had tatty leathers, but he had they had little money and he had big talent, and it worked. Their dream worked, and Ralston's the polar opposite. I don't mean he's got no talent, 'cause he's definitely got a load of talent. I rate the kid a lot, but it's just not quite happening for him. And look, it looks like their gamble's not going to pay off, and that's so sad. But that's the reality of our sport now. It's got harder. It has got harder over the years. Money's become more of a thing. We've moved more in the car world direction. When I started racing, if you were talented and you showed some talent, people wanted you to ride their bike. Now you've got to be in that top, in this paddock even, you've got to be in that top 25%. If you're not, so if you're in this paddock and you're in the bottom 75, you're in a position where, one, you won't get paid, or two, even worse, you'll have to pay. It's almost split into thirds, I feel like. A third get paid, a third ride for nothing, and a third pay. That's where we're at. So, like I said it in commentary yesterday, I think, imagine being that good that you are good enough to race at World Championship racing and you have to pay for the privilege. My mind just goes...
I think a lot of people don't realise that that is the situation that we're in, that we find ourselves in. What about Moto 2? Does it elevate in Moto 2?
I wish you could say yes. Unfortunately, it's still the same scenario. Maybe a little bit more, let's say maybe the shift is 60% that either get paid or get a free ride in this paddock is considered almost a pay ride, because then the rider can earn from their helmet money, their leather money, their sponsors, what the team allow them in terms of advertising, sponsors, passes to bring sponsors into the paddock, so you can generate income in that way. So if you can get a free ride at the moment in Moto 3 or Moto 2, you're on your way a little bit. But yeah, Moto 2, it still is the same scenario, but the money that some of the Moto 2 teams ask in junior GP and in here in GP is, well, it's astronomical. It's expensive, it really is, to run a team, but yeah, unfortunately we just need more sponsors, and that's what we all sort of hope. Liberty will open those doors a little bit, bring some more blue chip companies into the paddock, and then the smaller teams will get offshoots of that. There will be a bit more funding about, and that will help the sport grow.
And Susie, sorry, and that's why when we say, oh, we are really happy about Liberty coming in, and your die-hard fans are sat back going, oh, they're going to wreck our sport, and it's like, no, they're not. Hopefully they're going to generate some income for the whole paddock, for the smaller teams, get more eyes on the sport, more sponsors want to be involved. I want to be a part of the show. That's why we are pro-Liberty, and that's how I see. That's
well,
what
they're promoters.
They're going to bring. That's what they're going to bring to the party.
First and foremost, they are promoters. And in your opinion, as a team owner, and in your opinion as a rider manager, you have to go out and look for personal sponsors. You have to look for sponsors for your team. Is it harder and harder? Are less and less people interested in sponsoring motorcycle racing? And why, in your opinion, do you think that is?
It's a difficult one. Yeah, I do think it's tougher than ever. It's tough in the UK market, but then it's tough in Australian markets. We hope everyone thinks the American market is the key. If you unlock a few, we need American riders here to do that. If you unlock a few American companies, and then the knock-on effect that has across social media platforms, because that's what a lot of the companies look for now, is the social media access. But yeah, it is tougher than ever. It's a really difficult sell, and you just got to keep knocking doors, keep working at it. Yeah, I wish I knew the answer, to be honest.
Sorry, Susie.
I'll come back to you in 1 second. What you're looking at here is obviously they're inspecting the track conditions. That's where the incident occurred. So they're having a look to see whether they need to do anything or change anything, clean anything.
Yeah, that's the part of the track. That's the exit of turn 3 coming uphill to turn 4. So yeah, it looks like they're making sure that that's all right, and then let's hopefully we can get this race underway. Yeah, the situation with finding sponsors is difficult, because in reality, almost if you're looking for sponsors as a BSB team, you're at home, it's on TV, good TV coverage from TNT, and you can say, oh, you can come to the events, we'll have hospitality there. When it's World Championship racing, and let's say if you've got riders that aren't battling up at the front, A, you're not going to see them on TV. B, it's a lot of effort. Obviously, if you're sponsoring the team, you might want to come to 1 or 2 European events, but it's a 22-round championship all over the world. So it's a hard sell to be able to go to a company and say, we'd like between £50,000 and £100,000 off you for a sticker on our bike that you're not really going to see that. That's just the reality of But if you're at the front, and I mean, we're stood next to the Ducati hospitality area here. If you're that team, and they have a lot of sponsors, and they have a lot of small stickers, but to be a part of that, to have that association as a private company, then that's huge, isn't it? And that's why it's difficult sometimes for the teams in the let's say the second half of the paddock or second half of the race, as well. They're not up at the front. That's why it's really good for Michael's team, for example. Signing Joel Kelso is a huge thing, because you've signed an A rider. You've signed a rider that is expected to battle inside the top 5. Hopefully that means then obviously Michael's team bike is at the front of races, and then you can sell that to sponsors.
Yeah, that's why it's weird when you hear the likes of Trackhouse kind of, you know, bemoaning the fact that they haven't had very much coverage. Not recently, they've had loads, because obviously their rider's got out there and done the job and won, and he's been brilliant. But prior to that, they were really struggling to get any coverage, and that's in MotoGP.
Yeah, I found that interesting. I was speaking to their sponsor relations man, and he was suggesting, obviously they've got a lot of partners through their car race team in America, and they thought it would be almost an easier transition to bring them across, but it has been difficult. Obviously, the success will help now. Having the first victory with Raul Fernandez, it opens some doors, and then the Liberty Media effect, growing the audience in America, will help them. Which still surprises me of why Joe Roberts isn't part of that package. But again, that's me thinking with my commercial head on, that you would have signed Joe Roberts, a good-looking California boy who could have brought them success, but obviously immediately you've got an American to get excited about, get a nation behind you. I still think it'll happen some way, shape or form. Maybe Joe is probably hoping the same thing, but he could fit that bill for sure.
He's the only American at the moment that can fit that bill. I mean, he's sitting in a sweet spot there commercially, but he's been struggling this year on the bike, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think what happened when he didn't get the MotoGP ride, it sort of burst his bubble a little bit.
And then he had an injury as well.
Yeah, injury to start the season. He's had injuries. I mean, he's had a big crash this weekend as well. But also, he's just a bit too old, which is annoying that the MotoGP teams look at riders like that. I think Joel's about 27, 28. Joel, sorry. Yeah, Joel. Kelso. Is Kelso moving to MotoGP?
He's going straight through.
And unfortunately, again, a conversation we've had in the past, it's really ageist in MotoGP. They're looking to the young Moto2 riders. They're actually looking, if you're 25 years old, you're almost too old.
28, too old.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? But that's the reality of it.
Well, spoiler alert, the whole world is ageist, I think, really, isn't it? And look at us.
Well, we get younger, Susie.
We're Benjamin Buttoning.
In
just
our
keep our
prime.
jobs.
In our prime. As for Michael, he's a lost cause.
I know, he's gone downhill fast.
Well, if you're just joining us here, we are in delay, as you can tell. We're sort of on the bubble, really. I think they're looking at rescheduling all of the races because we've had an incident on the sighting lap in Moto3 with Jose Antonio Rueda and Noah Detweiler. They've both been helicoptered to hospital. We don't have any more information on their condition other than they are both conscious. The race will now be 10 laps, so it has been reduced by a third. All of the riders have had to wait. I'm not quite sure how long we've been waiting now. It feels like...
About an hour, would you say?
It's got to be...
Coming up in an hour now.
Yeah, nearly an hour, I think, in this heat. They've all been trying to keep cool, keep their core temperatures down. And we're just awaiting a time, really, for the start of this race. They've been out, they've inspected the track and made sure that it's clear. You have just been confirmed it's been 50 minutes, the delay that we've had so far. So it looks like it's going to be about an hour late. So everything is going to be shuffled back. But this is sometimes what you get in racing. And most of all, we all just want both of those riders to be okay.
Yeah, that's always, obviously, the priority. They've said that they'll reduce the Moto3 race. They might even reduce the Moto2 race just a little bit, because they always try and keep the timings relatively tight, don't they? They always want, especially with the MotoGP, they want that race to go out usually at a consistent time, even back in Europe. So they'll probably just squeeze it all together, I'm guessing. They maybe shorten the build-up to MotoGP. That's usually quite big, isn't it? About an hour.
Yeah, they could do. I mean, they've got the option to obviously take laps off, shorten races, that kind of thing. But we're in a place here where at least we don't lose the light really early as we get delayed. Whereas in Japan, for example, you know, it gets dark quite quickly, doesn't it? Which then throws in more problems for the riders. So this is the situation here on race day at the Sepang International Circuit, the Malaysian Grand Prix. We are delayed. What else would you like to talk about, Michael?
I'm just looking at Stefano Nepa walking past us, which I'm guessing is back to his cabin where he can get some aircon. So maybe there's not an immediate restart time. We did talk about the haves and the have-nots. Unfortunately, for some teams, you've got a pit box where they've got the office. We heard from Peter Erdl. He's got the office in the back. The riders can go into the aircon, so they do get a sporting benefit. And this conversation has been had recently about the Moto2 and Moto3 teams who don't have the advantage of being on pit lane and having a pit box. Then it does put you at a significant disadvantage, none more so than right now when the riders without them. Obviously, we have 3 Moto3 teams sharing the last pit box, and that's just for access to pit lane. We're working from another pit building just out the back, so yeah, it is a little bit difficult if you don't quite have that access.
Yeah, it feels like we might have a slightly longer delay than we felt. So perhaps we could take a break, and when we come back, we might be able to bring you some more news. So thank you for sticking with us. And hopefully, I'm just looking down here. Can you see?
Yeah, there's more riders walking back. I reckon they might have even called it.
It sounds like we may not get a Moto3 race with the riders all coming back. We're just seeing them walk down the paddock back. Yeah, they're all coming back now. So this looks like it's the story. Let us find out what's going on, and we'll tell you in a couple of minutes' time.
Yeah, well, we'll keep an eye out, and the riders are all walking back towards the pit lane. We've got Simon Patterson trackside for us in order to give us some information whether or not we will have a Moto3 Grand Prix or not. My understanding would probably be that it'll be, because we're so close to the Moto2 time, I would say would have Moto2, then would have MotoGP, then would have the Moto3 race after the Premier class has gone out. Not too dissimilar to what we've seen in the past. It would be very unfair if we just drop this race altogether. Official info, ambient temperature 34 degrees Celsius. That's all that's come up from race control. We've had no information whether or not this race will start, but we will be just sort of in a waiting period now to see if this Moto3 Grand Prix starts. This is a highly unprecedented event. If we do have to move to Moto2, our coverage will immediately transition over to the Moto2 stream, and you will be automatically redirected if you're watching on JB Motorsports 2. So far, no information has come from race control if this race is called or not. We're trying our best to see if we have any information. The riders have walked back. Simon Patterson, however, did say a good fact, and that is that because they've gone via helicopter, and with Donald Trump, the President of the United States, whatever opinions you have on him, forget it, but he's flown in today to Kuala Lumpur, so there's a lot of air security, there's a lot of other things around, and the airport is literally just 2 minutes away from the circuit. It's on the opposite side of the track, the Kuala Lumpur International Airport. So getting a road ambulance to the circuit in time might not be an option. So we might have to wait for the helicopter in order to do more racing. Usually they try and have 2 helicopters in one area. But yeah, this is the latest. Simon said, I would imagine that with both riders needing helicopter evacuation, there'll be a further delay until the helicopters return. The Trump chaos means that it is likely they will be a bet on road ambulances alone today. So we are waiting to see if the Moto3 race gets called. As things stand, we have no official information. The riders have indeed started to walk back to their pit boxes in the paddock, and they are in 2 different areas. So we've not yet got any official news from MotoGP if this race is over before it has even begun. The latest news is that Moreno and Detweiler are being taken to the local hospital via helicopter, and that they are both conscious. Let's head back down then and get the latest with Susie Perry and the team from trackside as we await to see this Moto3 10-lap Malaysia Grand Prix. Whether or not this race is going to happen or not is a different question. Let's head back down to Susie Perry.
Welcome back to race day at the Malaysian Grand Prix. We're in delay here. We'll have more information for you in just a moment. We have had an incident between 2 of the riders who have gone to hospital. They are both conscious, and we'll update you on that in a minute. But Nat is talking to Jake Dixon.
Well, Jake, we're still waiting for confirmation on a new schedule for today, but when we do get going, you're front row of the grid here, and it's been a real good weekend for you here, hasn't it? You broke the track record a couple of times, but feeling good here?
Yeah, first and foremost, I just hope both riders are okay, because it was a horrible crash to see. But yeah, looking forward to the weekend. The race today is completely different conditions. It's so hot. It's a joke. It's definitely pretty similar to being British, you know, in the UK at the minute. So yeah, I'm ready to get stuck in. I've had really good rhythm all weekend. I've been fast in one lap. Probably in longer runs, I've been faster than maybe just a one lap. So yeah, really, really excited. I want to do my granddad proud with a special helmet this weekend, and yeah, can't wait to go out and do it.
A beautiful tribute. We really like that, Jake. As you say, it's really hot, perhaps the hottest we've had it this weekend. And I suppose you won't know what conditions are like out on track until you go out there.
Yeah, it's same for everybody. I think it should play into our advantage. I'm a person that likes to play with the bike a lot when the bike starts to move around, and today is definitely going to be moving around a lot, so I think it'll play into my advantage.
You've had some good results here, haven't you, in recent years? Is this the circuit you like?
Yeah, let's not talk about last year. One lap too early, so hopefully I don't have a repeat of that. Yeah, it's a track I do like, you know. I've just been trying to enjoy these overseas, you know. It's going to be my last time doing them in Moto2, and yeah, I'm just trying to take and savour every moment and really, really enjoy that. And I want to just get a few more wins on the card in Moto2 and go out with a bang.
Yeah, we're certainly going to miss you. You've got an exciting new chapter to start, obviously, next year in World Superbikes. But the guys have just been talking about how difficult it is to get into this paddock, and for British riders coming through as well. What was your journey like to get here? Now you're about to finish this chapter in Moto2.
Do you know what? Really, really difficult. Like I always bang the drum on. I started at 14 years old, so it's completely different to the young kids that you need to start so young now. Starting at 14 is quite late. But then I came to the paddock 9 years later at 23. And if I knew what I knew now, I already knew it was too late to really get an opportunity in MotoGP. You've got to go out and really dominate, and unfortunately I wasn't able to go out and do that. It took me a few years to get going because it's such a big change, you know, riding from British tracks to Grand Prix tracks. So yeah, really, really difficult for the UK market, for our boys to get into it. And if I was to speak to any young lad now, I would be saying you need to try to find a good sponsor, get yourself into Europe, race in the Spanish Championship, and come through that way, because nowadays to come through British Championship, the series is great, but the tracks don't allow you to fine-tune your skills that they do here. And I'm such a better rider now than I was when I came here at 23. So yeah, I'm so grateful for the journey that I've been on here. I've had an incredible time, and yeah, I've had 21 podiums, 6 wins, and hopefully I can add to them to the end of the year.
We've still got 3 races to go. Appreciate your time, Jake. Thank you, and all the best later.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
And he goes from the front row, and he's looked fantastic all weekend around here, hasn't he?
Yeah, it looked really good, really strong. I thought it was a really good interview, actually. He explained it really clearly. Like, in reality, I talked about its ageist MotoGP. He didn't enter this paddock till he was 23 with 0 experience. All he got was experience of riding around cold, grippy UK tracks that are amazing. And he mentioned that you learn to, you know, your skill level improves out here because the way the tracks are, the way the conditions are, the way it's wider, safer, you ride on the limit much more. You ride with the bike moving a lot more. You're able to do that out here. You can't quite do that at Cadwell Park. And like I say, I'm not criticising Cadwell Park. It's an amazing race circuit.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is. And then, so the UK riders have to learn that, and he had to learn that at 23. So he's learned that at 23, and you've got Brian Uriarte, who's 17, in his second Grand Prix. He's already ahead of where Jake was when he was 23.
They start at 4, don't they?
Exactly. That sort of underlines the problem you've got as a British rider.
And I'm sad that Jake's going, because I wish he could have done another 12 months with the situation with Liberty coming in. But we also have candidly talked about money, and we don't normally have time to talk about things like that. I think from the outside, people think that, you know, the likes of Jake Dixon probably get paid, you know, lots, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds. The reality isn't that. And the World Superbike is a place where actually you can earn more money in his situation than you can here.
Yeah, for sure. Jake's been doing okay the last couple of years since he's become successful. As he mentioned, those tough early years, he would have been earning a little bit just to get by, but now he'll be able to earn a decent amount as a successful Moto2 rider. But the draw is always Moto World Superbike. If you're in a Moto2 position, it's maybe double, could be triple.
Yeah, triple. If you get a factory ride in World Superbikes, it's triple what you could earn in Moto2.
And at that age, you're looking to line your pockets a bit, aren't you?
Yeah, because what's happened is you've invested in your own career. That's what he's done, Jake. And to chase his dream, which was to become a MotoGP rider. And if you can do that, and if you can be successful at MotoGP, obviously you can earn much more than you can in World Superbikes. Don't get me wrong, Jake's dream was to be a MotoGP rider, not to earn money. Everyone's dream is to be a MotoGP rider because you want to get to the pinnacle of the sport. But in reality, as it turns out, and he's the perfect example, he's 29 years old, obviously 30 next year. In World Superbike, they're not ageist. It's the opposite, really. It's really good. It's like they know that you're going to get a mature rider, an age between 30 and about 35. That's the sweet spot, really, in World Superbikes. You've got Bautista, who's 40 now. Jonathan Rea's just retiring at 39, 38. Yeah. So where I'm going with this, sorry, is Jake's going to earn more money, quite a bit. He's going to potentially have 5 really good years in World Superbikes, maybe more. And he'll really enjoy it. Oh, and just to throw this one in, half the amount of races. So you're sort of a part-time race, which is quite nice, really. You go and race. I'll tell you what, we've got 3 weeks off. We've got a month off to the next race. Where here, we know, as we stand here sweating at round 20, still 2 rounds to go. This is relentless.
Why do you think it's changed? In that if we go back to your era of World Superbike, you know, we had Troy Bayliss coming in to this paddock doing really well. You came in, JT came in, Colin Edwards came in. From Superbike, there was a route in, whereas now it seems that the route is only the other way.
Yeah, it's only the other way. That's so we've got Top Rack coming,
apart from
Top
Ben
Rack.
Spies, I need to throw in there as well. But we haven't.
Sorry, just going to interrupt. We've got a new schedule. Pit lane will open at 13:40, and it will be a 10-lap race. So that is going to be in around about 45 minutes' time. Wow.
So, but I understand why he didn't. Jonathan didn't come here because it's like, well, hang on a minute. I'm on a full factory contract in World Superbikes. I've got the security of that. What I don't want to do is potentially come and ride in what we'd call a B team at the time, a satellite team. So I understand why he didn't. So because then he didn't come, that was almost like a roadblock. He was the standout rider for 8 years, really, in World Superbikes. And then after that, there's been... Then the main man's Bautista, and then we've had to wait really for Top Rack to come and appear. And now, as we see, thankfully, Top Rack is coming to this paddock and will do really well. Top Rack has got the ability, got the skill, got the raw talent to have a successful MotoGP career. But you're right, the trend has changed, and it's more going the opposite way. It's Moto2 riders going, or MotoGP riders with Miguel Oliveira. He's moving to World Superbikes. They're doing that for just longevity in their career.
Yeah, which we've seen with Max Biaggi, Carlos Checo and the like as well go that way. There's an update for you, just if you can't see that on screen. The new schedule is that the pit lane will open at 13:40, which is at local time, obviously, and it'll be 10 laps, quick start procedure. That is in about just over 40 minutes time, I think, isn't it? So it looks as though it's possible what they may do is run Moto3, run MotoGP in its slot, and then run Moto2 last. That's not confirmed, by the way, but that's just a hunch that we might get in this sort of situation. The problem is, of course, we haven't got a helicopter. And
that's now been confirmed. MotoGP will be at its scheduled time. Moto2 will be after the MotoGP race.
Moto2 run as the final race of the day. So we haven't got the helicopter because obviously the helicopter has taken Noah Detweiler and Jose Antonio Reda to hospital. We cannot start racing without a helicopter for the very reason it's being used at the moment. So that all makes sense. And I suppose, I don't know whether there would have been any other opportunity to get a helicopter here, but we have also got a situation with Air Force One and the ASEAN conference going on with big dignitaries around the world. So I think the airspace is also being monitored very closely around here as well. I'm just surmising that could have been a situation if we weren't, if we didn't have that going on very close. We've been very close to the airport here. We're about 10 minutes away. Right, so that's the situation. Shall we start talking Moto3 again?
For 45 minutes, I think we could.
Well, we've done an hour on it, haven't we? I tell you what. Let's talk about MotoGP. Let's move on to the Premier class, shall we? Because I think we have literally done everything in Moto3. MotoGP here this weekend. We've tried to unravel the mystery that is Pecco Bagnaia. We talked to Davide Tardozzi, what seems like hours ago now. Normally it's the top of the show, but it literally was hours ago, to try and get some confirmation of, you know, what his problem has been this season, because it has been such a yo-yo. And if we look back to Misano, he got no points. Then they had the test, and they tried, as he pretty much admitted. I don't know why they don't just tell us, but anyway, we had to claw it out of him that the ride height device from 2024 they used. Then he went to Japan and he won both races convincingly. I mean, no one could lay a glove on him there. Then we go to Indonesia, no points, it's an absolute disaster. And we're told, oh, it's the heat-treated tyre, that's the problem. Then we go to Australia, no heat-treated tyre, still a nightmare problem, no points for Pecco. Then we come here, pole position, sprint win with one hand behind his back. Were you any clearer about what the problem was?
No, having spoke to Davide, it's not. We're not clearer, are we? I think the best bit of information that I've heard this weekend was from Pecco's interview after the sprint race, and he said, "I'm not very good at adapting if the bike's not how I want it to be." That's an open admission that he's blaming himself for that. That's an open admission.
So that bears the question. So why isn't the bike as he wants it to be then? Why are they not making the bike as he... This is what I was trying to get to with Davide, but he didn't understand my question, I don't think.
Well, the restriction is the GP25 engine, which he has to run it. Your allocation, obviously they don't have concessions, they can't switch spec, so he is restricted to running that GP25 chassis because that's the only bike that it will fit in. And they've tried, as we understand it, from the Misano test, putting certain 24 components on there to give Pecco his feeling. He got it back in Motegi, but then he arrived with a heat-treated tyre in Indonesia. And what I understood from Davide was, we're a victim of circumstances here. The heat-treated tyre, no grip, he had a tough weekend. Then we had Pecco in a little bit of a slump mentally, didn't perform there, arrived in Australia, wasn't happy with the bumps, the bike didn't work, didn't feel good, and I'm thinking Davide sort of saying, the rider stayed down, and there were some moments which we seen Pecco was quite fast through Saturday in the morning session, and the bike wasn't horrendous. It was unstable, but it wasn't horrendous. I think he's sort of saying Pecco didn't perform last weekend. Then he arrived here on Friday and he was still questioning, did the bike feel like it did pre-season? Pecco's answer was no, but then actually as the track evolved and the grip came up overnight, he was fast yesterday, put it on pole, then he won the race. So when things are aligned, Pecco's phenomenal.
But we haven't seen this before from Pecco.
No.
So why have they always been aligned for him? Why has he always had the bike underneath him that he wants? Is this anything to do with, and this is what I was trying to ask Davide, the fact that obviously Mark's come into the team. Have they gone down a certain route with Mark in mind? And Mark can ride around anything.
Yeah, that's fact, right? We know that. So, but look at the stats. I've only got this. Steve Day sent me this just after we'd spoke to Davide, and I thought it was quite interesting. And basically saying you can't question Pecco's ability. So in MotoGP, he's done 98 starts. He's had 58 podiums and 31 wins. I mean, he's got a podium ratio of 60% in MotoGP. He's got a win ratio of 32%. I mean, they are crazy figures in our sport. And the grey area is, one, we can't see it on track, because normally we can analyse stuff and we can see things. And don't get me wrong, in Japan, for example, the bike looked more consistent on slide, where we'd seen it some of the previous rounds when he was still finishing seconds and thirds, it kicked a little bit more. But it's not black and white, it's not obvious, and it's made it very difficult for everyone. That's one issue we've had. The second one is Ducati being secretive about it, and then almost being slightly annoyed because we're speculating. Well,
we're going to fill the holes, aren't we?
We're going to fill the holes. The number one question, in fact, I'm going to say this, probably the question I've been asked the most that I've not experienced since doing this job, even off family members that aren't into bikes, going, what's going on with Pecco? You know, like, literally, I've been asked that question so many times. And what's annoying is, normally I can go, well, let me tell you. And I go, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. What do you think, you know? Because
they called together a small group of journalists as well, didn't they, in Indonesia? And they basically said it's the ride height device, 25 ride height device that's causing the problem for him. And then we've had all this ride height device stuff going on here with him getting in the car yesterday saying, well, I ended up not using the ride height device.
Yeah, that was interesting to say that he didn't want the advantage of the aero effect down the straight, didn't want the braking advantage. He did admit after the race, probably lost a little bit of braking performance, but he must have gained in grip and feeling off the turn. I haven't actually rode with the right-hand device, but it's bound to feel weird when it just sits as you're driving off the turn. It has got, obviously, anti-wheelie effects. The bike accelerates better with it, but it hasn't given Pecco that grip, that sensation, because Pecco is a floating, smooth, like really on top of it rider, not a Marc Marquez or a Casey Stoner, a rider who's able to just grab something by the scruff of the neck and force it into submission. That's never been Pecco, but those stats are interesting. I do remember the period when he it looked like he clicked at Pramac, and then all of a sudden he started losing the front loads and crashing a lot. And he did have a bit of a crisis of confidence, and then all of a sudden they found it, and he found his technique, which was a lot more rear brake, to stop it. And since then, we've not had a blip until now. And he's won 2 World Championships in MotoGP, and he's always looked good. But yeah, all of a sudden he's in this weird
and
year.
finished runner-up twice.
Yeah, true.
You know, in the last 4
years.
years. I mean, it's incredible. One thing, sorry, just about the ride-out device. One person we know who's got a lot of experience from testing it was Sylvain. And obviously we asked him, didn't we? Like, I'm like, what's it really like? He said, the first time you use it, I remember him using these exact words, it feels like you've got 40 brake horsepower more.
That's right, I remember that.
And he said, because as the bike drops on corner exit, there's less wheelie, so the ECU, the brain of the motorcycle, gives you more power. Because it's not wheeling. Wheeling's always the determined... Hello. We're saying really nice things, Mauro.
Come and talk to us. Come on.
You want to go inside to drink something because I saw you very...
Sweating, I know. Yeah. We've been talking for 3 hours, so...
Oh, wow. Difficult,
yes,
Difficult. Do you want to join us with coffee, something to drink?
We're on air, but if someone wants to bring us some coffee, we'd love it, Mauro. Thank you so much.
Coffee, please.
Oh, absolutely, of course. Yes, please.
I'll wait till you there.
That would be great. He's going to get the coffee. Mauro, thank you.
Thank you. Do you know what I find brilliant? It's always nice when you're talking about a manufacturer and saying, you forget how loud we are when we've got our earpieces in.
They've probably got a telly on in there. We're also on the telly to TV guy.
No, this isn't live though, is it? They're not filming this.
No one's watching. It's fine.
But yeah, you saw my sweat. The problem is my arm's sweating, so I've got. Look at this. Oh, that's horrendous. Look at this.
How hot
it's
it is.
embarrassing. Look at that.
Listen, for anybody at home.
Oh, grazie.
Oh, look at
what
this.
a gentleman.
Grazie.
What a gentleman.
Thank you very much. You're very kind.
I tell you, so the Ducati are the best manufacturer in the world. They are.
Yeah, they are. Oh, this is... Well, because we've got a lot to do. This is our
Alana.
producer, Alana, who's mysteriously off camera. And we couldn't function without her, basically. So she drags us around and sets everything up for us. So thank you very much.
What's her
and also,
name?
Neil can't open a bottle of water if you know, you know.
Is that the staff?
That's the staff. Who called them staff? Who said that?
Gav. You know what Gav's like.
Oh, no, it's terrible. I've dropped my pen. For anybody at home that does that, or on social media, that does that black and white thing where they go about Pecco, just back to that conversation. Thank you, Alana. That goes, oh, well, he's just been smashed by Marc Marquez. That's what's happened. He's psychologically smashed him from the beginning of the season. You can't go and win in Japan like that if you've lost all your confidence. This is why it's such a weird scenario, isn't it?
It's such a weird scenario. We know from the first round, his comments were he preferred the 24 Ducati. He can't do what he wants to do on the 25 Ducati. And yes, Marc could do that. But Marc's done that throughout his career, and he was even on a 125 when he was on a Derby and not quite the favourite bikes, and on the KTM. Then he rode a Suter in Moto 2, which wasn't the bike to be on, and he smashed everybody. Obviously, he rode the Honda for years when it wasn't the bike to be. Marc's Marc. That's a different conversation.
He's an anomaly.
Pecco's not in the position he's in now because of Marc. It's not. It's because he's not getting the feeling he needs from that Ducati, and he wants the 24 feeling. When he tested it at the test in Misano, he did test the 24 Ducati, despite what people are saying. He did, and he loved it straight away. And it was like, that's what I need. That's the feeling I need. Unfortunately for him, he's on a 2-year deal, but so is Marc Marquez. They will ride together next year as teammates. All Pecco can hope, and I'm hoping it too, and I'm sure the whole world is, that Ducati will, the 26 version will be tailored towards Pecco. I hope it will be. So because all we want to see is a race. They might as well. Marc can ride anything.
Exactly, Marc can ride anything. Just build it completely around Pecco.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Let's.
Black and white, it's easy. Right. Moto 2 will be the final race of the day in the switch-around because we are in delay here in Malaysia. So Nat is talking now to a man that we've been discussing, Joe Roberts.
Well, Joe, we've just had confirmation that Moto2 is going to be the last race of the day, so a little bit of a wait for you guys, but when we do get going, 4th row of the grid for you. And when we saw that kind of heavy crash for you earlier on this weekend, wasn't sure how this weekend was going to pan out. So have you been happy with what you've been able to do since then?
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't sure how everything would be after that crash as well. It was a pretty big one, and ended up kind of twisting my left wrist pretty bad and gave it a little bit of a nasty sprain, so it's all dressed up for the weekend. But honestly, I've been feeling really good here. I've always really loved this track. It's quite a flowing, nice track. It's one of the coolest ones for a motorcycle, in my opinion. So, yeah, I'm quite excited to get out there. I think we've got pretty good pace, you know, in Indonesia, similar conditions. I was able to work my way up to 6th, so yeah, excited to see what we can do here in this next one. Obviously, it's a bit of a, not great circumstances right now with the situation going on in Moto3, and I'm just holding well wishes for Jose and Noah, and hope everything works out all right with that. Yeah,
we all echo those thoughts and those sentiments, Joe. Appreciate that. You said that the injury there, you've got that strapped up, and it was an injury that perhaps, well, it finished your season early last year, didn't it? How much did it impact kind of the start of this year and what you've been able to do this season?
This is actually my left wrist now. The one last year was my right, so
you've done both of them now?
Evened out. I was honestly a bit worried I'd done the same thing to my right, and luckily I haven't, so it was an unfortunate injury last year that really set me back, because training-wise I just was not able to train I rode like one time before the preseason test, so really started on the back foot this year, and I'm quite excited going into next year. Going to have Lucio Nicastro as my crew chief again, which is, we had a lot of success together, so I'm quite excited about that, and just excited to get, fully back to my 100% and full self and fight for this championship next year.
Good to talk to you. Thanks, Joe.
All right, thank you.
Joe goes from 11th today. The Moto2 race will be at the end of the day in the switch around, and he did well actually to qualify there with that wrist problem that he's got.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was an ugly crash, that turn 2. We saw the aftermath of it. It was one of those horrible high sides where you land back on the bike and then it goes, oh, no, I'm going to throw you to the ground, and it flicked again and he face planted. So it was his scaphoid before, wasn't it? So he thought he broke his scaphoid again, even though on the other hand, which is the worst bone to break. So
no blood flow, and it takes ages to heal.
Yeah, and it can be one of those injuries that you carry for the rest of your career. Actually, the rest of your life, you feel it.
Yeah. Okay, well, good luck to Joe today. The Moto2 race going at the back end of the day. The Moto3 race will be 10 laps. That is because we've had an incident between Noah Detweiler and Jose Antonio Reda, as Joe alluded to there. Both of them have been taken to hospital in the helicopter. They are both conscious. We don't know any more about it at the moment, but we do know we have a delay. So what we'll do is enjoy yesterday's sprint all over again. Your front row, Franco Morbidelli, Alex Marquez and Pecco Bagnaia in pole position.
Not a bad idea, actually, to throw back to yesterday's sprint race. We might do similar as we wait to see the overall change of things as well. And quite by chance, we have that on operation, actually, to be able to throw to with video as well. So while we load that up, while we wait to see the latest news from the team, we will throw that back. We have around about a half an hour delay to proceedings due to all of the accidents and that we've had, so I'm not really surprised at all that this delay has turned in and come up into the proceedings. So sadly, that's the way sometimes the cookie crumbles in motorcycle racing. But right now, let's head back in time and enjoy the sprint race from yesterday. We are in a delay here for the Moto3 Grand Prix, so let's head back and enjoy yesterday's MotoGP Tissot Sprint. MotoGP gets ready to go for the Tissot Sprint. 11 laps ahead of us, As the field head out on the formation lap, we are ready to go. Welcome to round 20 of the season. The field are out on the formation lap. Welcome up to the commentary box. Sorry we're a bit late on air. A few technical difficulties. Back on in operation now. They're into the last corner. This is your grid. Pecco Bagnaia on pole position. Alongside him is Alex Marquez. Megs, take us to the rest.
Right, so Morbidelli is in third, with second row being Quartararo, Costa and Aldeguer. Third row is Mir, Antonio and Zarco. Fourth row is Rins, Miller and Polo Spargo. Oh, Paul. Fifth row is Marini, Bezecchi and Ralph Fernandez. Sixth row is Oliveira, Ayagura and Binder. Seventh row is Bastianini, Chantra and Salvadori. And at eighth row is Pirro and Augusto Fernandez. Oh, Augusto.
Green flag at the back. All eyes to the lights and the MotoGP sprint races go. Good start from Bagnaia. Bit of a back getaway from Alex Marquez. He'll stay in second position. Up into third position. Great start from Pedro Acosta. Moves up the inside line down towards turn number 1. Alex tries to get underneath him. There's a few little bit of raindrops down there. No sound yet of the flags coming down. But everyone making their way through safely. Quartararo on the inside line of Franco Morbidelli. There's a little bit of a 3-wide battle as they head out of turn 2 and down up towards turn number 4. The first time Bagnaia leads Alex Marquez. Acosta, Quartararo, Morbidelli, Mir. Good start from everyone. Makes us mild. Look at that. Alex trying on the inside line of Bagnaia.
It seems quite a safer circuit than what we had last time, to be honest. So I'm quite happy about that. I'd really like not to lose any more of the riders. And that was Acosta, I believe, going into third from Morbidelli.
Aldeguer moving up into 6th position. Juan Mir down as well into 7th. Zarco 8th. Polo Spargo 9th. And Di Antonio getting into 10th position as they continue their run up now into turn 9. And there's Quartararo on the inside of Franco Morbidelli. Juan Mir trying on the inside line of Fermin Aldeguer. And Aldeguer holding that inside line, but Mir's got the traction on the outside. And Bagnaia, good as he may be, is under pressure. Down to turn 11. Morbidelli's got the inside line and gets ahead of Quartararo. Woohoo! Look at that, Morbidelli still throwing through the inside line. Quartararo still can't find a way through. They're ducking and dicing between the two as they come in towards turn 13. But Quartararo still on the inside line to 14, and he's got through.
Further back, we have Bezecchi getting past Jack Miller for 15th, but somehow it's only almost the end of lap 1.
Yeah, this is still the opening lap of the race, unless we've had a timing malfunction.
Nope, still lap 1.
Are you sure about that?
Very sure. It's just seeming like ages for us for some reason. But Acosta goes into second, passing Alex Marquez, just about to happen.
No, the timing, yeah, now it's lap 2. Yeah, you're right. Right, that was the opening lap of the race, my goodness me. Bagnaia leads, Alex is second, Acosta third, Mir fourth, Morbidelli fifth, Quartararo sixth. That was the longest opening lap of the season.
I know.
That was really long. Look at that. Look.
2 minutes, 2 seconds, that's why it seemed forever.
Look at the inside line still. Acosta's now trying to have a go at Alex Marquez. And Ea Bastianini's up 5 places from where he started. Unbelievable stuff. Morbidelli moving out of Quartararo as well on the inside line. That's nicely done. Mir still moving up in 3 places.
Saying it's targets for Mir now.
And Quartararo's got the inside line coming out of it now. And look on the inside firm now to get trying to go through turn 7. That's a really compromised Quartararo coming back through. And this is Alex Marquez. Attack on Bagnaia.
Right, so how has everything been in the race recently? And that's Aldeguer, I think, trying to get a move by, but I think he fails trying to get by Morbidelli. About to happen, and yeah, he can't make it.
Down on the brakes, returning the outside line. Still needing to push. And back on the throttle, yeah, not too bad.
So how has this weekend been so far? Since obviously I have not been a part of it recently because
absolutely nothing has happened.
Do you know what? I'm not surprised.
No, without Marquez, it's opening up the field a bit for Bagnaia to come back through. He's having an okay weekend with a good qualifying.
And this doesn't seem like a track where it's going to really cause a lot of problems for riders, unless it's about rain. but the rain seems to be holding off quite a lot. I think the wind is moving far too slowly for it to actually hit the circuit as intended. It might hit maybe, I reckon, maybe end of the race. But
Oh, Bagnaia's twitch in the rear. Yeah, there's rain predicted for tomorrow. There was a few drops of rain at turn 1 on the opening up of the race. You can see on the camera lens, that's blown away. Right setting conditions now as they come out of the last corner over the line. Lap 3 then of 10. Fast lap for Bagnaia, 1:58.079.
it's a long track.
It's a Formula 1 track, isn't it, as well? So Herman Tilke built this for Formula 1 cars, not motorcycles. The motorcycles have good races here, but it's a 2-minute lap time. Jack Miller's dropping down the order, so is Ayagura. They've dropped a couple of places further back.
So I reckon and hope they must be pack racing, to be honest.
Yeah.
But we don't have that on the screen right now, so...
On the inside line, yeah, we haven't got the information from race control just yet. Have that shortly, in terms of who's where.
Right.
Costa, he's pushing quite well.
He is. And in fact, Pirro getting track limits warning, and I'm pretty sure I just saw Marini move past Antonio for 10th place.
Didn't surprise me.
Is that Paul Espargaro with a 9th?
Paul Espargaro is in 9th position, yeah.
I like Paul being back.
Yeah, Paul's being back in the sport, it's a good idea. Just continually taking on a couple of other places. Cautiously, wildly accelerate as they hold through on the inside line then. Bring back up. Oh, and there goes Marco Bezzecchi on the inside line of Digi for 11th position at turn 9 and gets it through nicely. Digi can't really fight back to it.
Is it just me, or does all the bikes look wrong in their wheels right now?
They don't look in traction zone, do they?
Yeah. I think because of the type of circuit this is, all of the wheels are not adjusting properly, and that's why we're not seeing as much action going on, because they can't get the right grip. It's not about not having grip, it's about having the right grip that they can actually do the moves they usually do.
It's funny you mention that, because of course everyone's on soft rear tyre bar Lorenzo Salvadori and Mikel Pirro, who's gone for a medium front. But the riders have actually criticised, they've criticised Michelin for bringing tyre compounds that they did in the test when nobody used them anyway.
Yeah.
So that's why we're seeing a few twitches out there, and a few of them just a little bit unsettled.
Massive twitch there from Bagnaia, just proving your point, really.
Yeah. And yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, under braking into turn 1, there's nothing with the rear traction.
Now, let's have a look at this tracker. Now, we can see that Pirro actually dropped position immediately to the back of the field. Bagnaia maintained his position, and Zarco seemed to move up slightly. The person who gained the most, though, seemed to be Bastianini, going up, I think that's about 5 positions just in 1 lap. Then again, with how long that lap was, that might not have been from the start. He might have just made that up gradually.
Yeah, I think he would have made that up gradually, wouldn't he?
Yeah, because that lap lasted forever. The person who lost the most, though, I would say, is Jack Miller. He seemed to drop quite a similar amount of position, to be honest. He seemed to drop about 5 places in that opening lap. Now, I reckon that was from the start.
Yeah. Let's have a look then on board with Aldeguer. You can see a few rain clouds in the air, but nothing going through. That's a rambling slang thing again.
Yeah.
We're done into it. But so far, so good then as they come through turn 11. Bagnaia leads, Alex Marquez, Acosta, Mia from 4th. Great job from the Hondas.
Do you know,
Morbidelli, top 5.
I hope it does rain.
For all the race tomorrow?
For a race tomorrow and for this, because I feel like this is a circuit that really needs rain when it comes to MotoGP.
The problem is, you know, Malaysia, as soon as it starts raining, there's a chance that the red flags come out. That's how difficult the circuit is to get right.
But the thing is, they all seem to be doing fine. Like, have we even had a crash this weekend so far?
Only a couple, not really any big ones.
Was Jack Miller involved?
Yeah, he actually made a crash. And there goes Marini on the inside line and Marco Bezzecchi for 10th position. Down in turn 1, Bezzecchi's going to try and come back. We're halfway in this Tissot sprint. And Marini stays in 10th position. Bezzecchi can't get through on the inside line down turn 1.
If there's anything...
Oh, yes, he can. He's trying on the undercut. Marini went a little bit too deep.
You're right, rain.
Yeah, a few little drops in there in the air.
And another.
It's still too hot, though, to actually proper throw it down.
Yeah, because right now air is 33.
just the moisture that gets released in the clouds. It's still not fully raining. It's just a few little drops every now and then on a still sunshine. That's Malaysia
annoying.
for you.
Yeah. It's too warm outside to give us what we want.
Yeah, that's Malaysia. All right. I'm trying to work out which is which between the two.
Question.
Yes.
What time did I fall asleep last night?
I have no idea because I was busy.
Because I looked at my phone and I stopped using it around 9.
Yeah.
I fell asleep at 9.
Aldeguer on the inside line. Franco Morbidelli doesn't know he's there. Oh! And out goes Mia!
Wait a
Mia
minute.
chops it up from in there, but he just used this in front of them. We thought there was going to be Aldeguer going out of the race with Morbidelli. And why Mia's chopped it out for turn 9?
That wasn't right. Let's have a look at that again.
The front dips as these two are making an overtake.
He span.
Yeah.
That's not right.
No, the front dips away from him, so he turns in, the rear steps out. That gives it no traction on the front. It goes around and the right loops back around on itself.
I've never seen a spin like that.
That was a weird one. That's the tyre compounds for you. Nobody likes running the soft.
I mean, these tyre compounds have literally... I feel like they're too dangerous to actually be on the bikes now because that's how they spin.
Yeah.
It doesn't give the other compound the
Zarco.
freedom to go onto the gravel, which is needed because he's almost just hit right into 2 other riders while they are making moves on each other.
Zarco on the
It's
inside.
dangerous.
Yeah, Zarco trying to get ahead of Marco Bezzecchi for 9th. Hasn't worked out. So Zarco's had 10th position.
Ooh,
Antonio
wide.
goes wide, and that allows through. Someone else is down. Someone else is down.
Oliveira.
It's Oliveira. Miguel Oliveira's gone down. I can
Nice
hear
what
it in
you
my,
hear.
yeah, I can hear the scraping in my headset. So Miguel Oliveira now out of the race. That's
Rider
Rider
okay.
okay. That was
Can we see
probably
it?
a drop to the front turn 1, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's dropped it round turn 1. I would love a replay of that happening, actually.
He's
Mia's
okay.
entered the pits.
Yeah, he's okay walking away, but Mia is back in the pit lane and probably is out of the race, unfortunately. So that is a shame. Yeah, Mia's in and he's really angry with himself.
It's not your fault. It's the tyres.
There'll be a chance tomorrow. Don't worry.
Crash out again because those tyres are rubbish.
They'll have medium tomorrow, I reckon. Try and make it to the race. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody tried it hard.
Do you know what? I'd encourage it. There's another spot of rain. It is slowly starting to come onto the track, and that's a move being made.
Just Bezzecchi to go on the inside line with Marini. He's side by side through turn 11 into turn 12. Marini drops back. Bezzecchi's gone through around the outside.
Zarco just waiting in the abysses there in 10th. Now Zarco does extremely well in the race.
Oh, Marini! Sent it up the inside of Bezzecchi and almost wiped him out.
I don't know what's been in Marini lately because...
Valet blood.
Yeah. He's just really seeming to, like, remember how to race, like, properly and not just stay in the mid-pack. Which I know he is in the mid-pack right now, but he's fighting it.
Yeah. Not a bad getaway, really, is it?
No. And Zarco usually does extremely well in the wet weather. And also earlier, before the whole Mia and Oliveira incident, I was going to say about how the one thing you can always guarantee from a GP weekend is that Jack Miller's going to crash somewhere.
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah.
Hasn't done it so yet, has he?
So,
But has
that's
crashed
still
this
got to...
weekend.
Yeah. It's like, it's inevitable.
4 to go. Bagnaia leading, very much like he did in Japan when he was in control.
He wears Fenner's colours as well. Maybe it's about the colour purple. It's just like really calls to crashing.
Just through on the inside 9. Turn 7 and 8. Up towards turn 9.
So I haven't got a replay for the Oliveira crash.
No, we haven't seen that at all, have we, actually? That's very disappointing.
Luckily we were on board at the time of Mia's crash, otherwise we wouldn't have seen it.
No, yeah, if that's the point.
That's something they've got really bad at recently.
No replays for
Yeah.
all of it, yeah. So I presume he's dropped the front.
Yeah, but I want to see how those tyres handled that.
Not a lot of overtakes in this one.
No. They haven't got enough traction to actually make them.
Yeah.
even when they do try to make them, they fail in making them.
Acosta still gaining time, reeling him in. What's with Brad Brinda in 17th position? He's moved up a place from where he started.
I think it must have been a bad qualifying and practice. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there. How was it?
Didn't get the traction in qualifying. Went down, I believe, at one point, so couldn't get back in again. That new 3-minute rule. Just the timing, really.
That's Gura making a move on Jack Miller, but he's fighting back. We got a little bit of action going on down in 14th to 15th. If we could move past the people that aren't actually making moves on each other, I would love that.
Cautiously, wildly, accelerating. Desperate to try and get something back together. This is a wonderful little traction zone as they come through. 3 to go. Bagnaia still leading by a comfortable margin, 2.5 seconds.
You see, the race seems faster now as well.
Yeah.
But also at the same time slower. I'm not sure whether that's just because we're all tired here.
This is battle for 8th. This is Pezecki going through on the inside line of Polaspargo and making the move done with absolute ease. Now we're watching Aldeguer battling with Acosta for that final 3rd position, the bronze medal.
Do you know what? I reckon Aldeguer could give Acosta this, just like, he's not gonna.
No, he's on the inside turn 9 and he's ahead. Acosta moves in down to 4th and Aldeguer moves up into 3rd. Very nicely done from Furman. He's got that race underneath him now, hasn't he?
Makes it a Ducati 1-2-3 and a Ganeshi 2-3.
Yeah, I agree with George here, saying Gigi and Davide need to come and explain this. How's Pecco Ducati by most of the season, but when it comes to push stuff, it starts performing well all of a sudden.
Yeah, I think that is poor management because how did they not figure out even during the summer break what was going on with that bike?
It took them until Japan.
It took them, there's a yellow out on the circuit. It took them until they can no longer focus on Mark.
Hang on a minute, what's happened there? Why did Acosta go really deep? It's Luca Marini!
Oh.
Marini's out for 9th place, such a great race!
Pushed
and he's
too
gone
hard.
down, both of the Hondas are out! With an accident, presumably, of a similar kind. Let's take a look.
Oh, we get a replay for this.
He's battling with Polaspargo on the inside line at turn 14. He's going for the move. Yeah, Pole hits him.
That is unfortunate for Marini.
That's Pole's fault, though. Pole didn't look where he was going. He didn't see the fact that Marini was on the inside.
Yeah.
Marini went with enough traction on the inside. He had the race line, didn't move out. That was Pole's fault.
Maybe he's still a little bit rusty.
Yeah. Pole's going to get a penalty for that one.
Jeez.
That is so unlucky.
He was doing so well.
Both of the Hondas out then. So that puts Zarco into points-paying position. It's under investigation.
Coincidentally, a Honda gives a Honda another chance.
Yeah.
Binder has a track limits warning right now.
It's under investigation. I expect that to get a penalty for Pole for tomorrow's Grand Prix.
Yeah, I reckon it will.
That's a shame.
Back to the point before. But honestly, I'm struggling to remember the point before.
Bagnaia and the bike.
Yes, that was the point. They only started thinking about, what's wrong with Bagnaia when they no longer had to worry about
Mark.
championship and Mark.
Yeah. Bagnaia from Japan was brilliant. Then it went away in Indonesia and Australia with some really poor results. Now all of a sudden, Mark's not back for the rest of the season, and Bagnaia's bike is suddenly 2.2 seconds ahead of the front of the field.
It really shows a lack of care from
Understanding, yeah.
Ducati. It's like, we know where they're focusing them this year. We know why Bagnaia has suffered because of that.
Yeah.
And it kind of shows how teams interact as well, because this isn't right.
Alex just got told about where Fermin Aldeguer is a second behind. Why Bagnaia? Why that was focused on instead of Bagnaia crossing the line, I don't know. We've got last lap time now. Well, Ducati last time out in Indonesia, where were we? Australia. Yeah, the last time out in Australia, it was the first time that a Ducati did not finish on the podium in a Tissot sprint. They're going to come back with a vengeance here with 1, 2, 3 lockout. That's impressive.
It is.
There's the brilliant. There is the Grassini team watching on. They're going to have Alex second and Aldeguer third.
Oh, I keep sleeping wrong. I keep aggravating this one specific nerve.
Well, Megan's got a tweaked neck.
No, it's not even that. It's my shoulder blade. I don't get why.
I feel weird not having Nina between us.
Yeah,
Yeah. She'll be back with us in Abu Dhabi or Vegas or Brazil. I don't know when actually. We'll work that out. Definitely in Abu Dhabi. Oh, and Valencia. The RoGP Valencia.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
Right, it seems.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's pointless. The championship battle. Mark's not back for the rest of the year.
A championship battle where the champion's already been crowned.
And is left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark's gone. He won't even be back for testing. We won't see Mark until 2026.
Yeah, because honestly, take your time in resting. Last time he tried to come back, he hurt.
He's not doing the Valencia test, the postseason test.
Good.
To which I will be doing from elsewhere. So that's going to be fun. Still, this is the last corner of the last lap for the Tissot sprint. Ooh, a little bit of monsters come off there, the sticker for Bagnaia. Proves how hard he's been racing out there.
Too close to the curb.
Ducati back with a vengeance over the line. Bagnaia wins the Tissot sprint, but with Grassini second and third, Alex Marquez is the independent rider of the year. And Fermin Aldeguer is the rookie of the year.
Woohoo! Great year for Grassini.
You could have taken it over, you know that wasn't. That fan, you stood at the wrong angle and straight up higher. Bagnaia wins. Alex Marquez independent champion of the year, and Aldeguer is the rookies champion of the year.
It's a great year for Grassini, to be honest, and I can see great things for them. I feel like Palpatine when I say that, though. Next year, I'm really hoping that they do really, really well. I mean, they already did do well, but I'm also very happy for Bagnaia right now because look at how far he is coming right now.
Yeah. Well, there's your results. Take us to it, Max.
Right, so in first, Bagnaia with second, Alex Marquez. Aldeguer is in third. Fourth is Acosta. Morbidelli is in fifth. Sixth is Quartararo. Bsky's in seventh. Eighth is Zarco. A nice Honda.
And the final point.
Eighth, yeah. Is that all of the? That's all of the factory teams
inside the positions. Yeah. Yeah. That's actually a good sprint race for them.
Yeah. Not so good for everyone else.
Yeah.
Bastianini is 9th, 10th is D'Antonio, Paulo Spargo is 11th, obviously moving down a slight bit after his contact with Marini. Then we have Aguirre in 12th, very good position for him. Ralph Fernandez is in 13th, 14th is Miller. Didn't crash, surprisingly. Rins is 15th, 16th is Binder. Chantra is in 17th, very good position for him, to be honest. Salvadori is in 18th, also a good position for him. Augusto Fernandez is in 19th, 20th is Pirro, and then out of the sprint race was Marini, Oliveira, and Mia.
Tyre pressure for Fermin Aldeguer is under investigation, so that's going to be a disqualification.
And that would put Acosta onto the podium.
Yep, so that's a disappointing result. That's going to come through in a second. We'll keep an eye on that as it goes.
That would also mean Aldeguer's not the rookie of the year anymore.
Yeah, he'll have to do that tomorrow. He'll need some more points to come in.
Only one a day.
Yeah. Okay, cheers, Megs. See you tomorrow for the Grand Prix. And we'll hand down in a second to TNT. So very quickly, which moment of the sprint?
I would say seeing Mia go down because, honestly, that was very surprising. And I'm still really curious about the way he went down and how he span on the circuit because that did not seem right and it did not sit well with me of how that happened.
Okay, right, let's head down then to TNT Sports as the riders come into Parc Fermé for the Malaysia Grand Prix sprint race. Well, we are a few moments away from the start of the Moto3 Grand Prix. The new schedule has been announced if you're just joining us. This is how it's going to work. Moto3 gets underway at 1:40 local time for 10 laps. MotoGP is at the same time it was originally scheduled for. That's 3 o'clock local. over there in Malaysia, 7 a.m. in the UK, GMT. And the Moto2 race has now moved to 4:30 local time, and that is 8:30 a.m. over in the UK. We've had a red flag for over 2 hours due to an accident with Jose Antonio Rueda and Noah Deltweiler. Both have been taken to hospital via the medical helicopter. The medical helicopter has returned. We await further news on the riders' conditions, but both were conscious when leaving the circuit. So we send our thoughts and prayers with them because it is a nasty shunt. Basically, at the exit of turn 4, Noah Deltweiler was slow on the racing line. Rueda, unsighted, hit the back at full speed on the sighting lap to the grid. Not even during the warm-up lap or the opening lap of the Grand Prix. It was when we first left the pit lane. So it recorded a numerous amount of damage. But we're ready to restart the action for today's Malaysia Grand Prix. Let's send it back downstairs to TNT Sports as we get the quick restart procedure. Down to you, Susie.
Hello, welcome back to race day here at the Malaysian Grand Prix. Looking at Kelso, we have been delayed here. There was an accident with Jose Antonio Rueda and Noah Deltweiler. Both of the riders were taken to a hospital in the helicopter. We still don't have any news on how they are doing. As soon as we do, we will let you know, of course. The helicopter is now back, so things can proceed here. There will be a quick start procedure. 10 laps. As you can see, the pit lane opens now in less than a minute's time, and it will be open for 1 minute, where the teams, the riders will be able to have one team member with them on the grid. So we are about to go racing. 10 laps instead of 15, so it's been reduced by a third, and Neil and Gav will take you through this. Difficult times for these riders going out to do this race. Gav having to put everything into a box and concentrate on the race ahead.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that we're having this race, Susie, I will say. I think we've been here before, haven't we? Where serious injuries and people have been taken to hospital. And then we're sending out a bunch of teenagers out to race for our entertainment. That doesn't sit right with me, but anyway, that's what's been decided. We've got 10 laps of this Moto3 race with a quick start, as Susie mentioned. The pit lane is now open. They've got a minute to get out onto the racetrack. They'll form up the grid. Obviously, there will be no Jose Antonio Rueda. There will be no Noah Deltweiler. We obviously all send our thoughts to the riders and to the teams, families, and hope for the best news. But as Susie quite rightly mentioned, we've just had a vacuum of information, nothing forthcoming from any quarter. So we brought you everything that we've had as soon as we've had it. There were reports of riders conscious at start, but they were taken away. The riders have been medevaced to Kuala Lumpur, to hospital there, and that's about a 40-kilometre trip, maybe, or so. So maybe about 30 miles down there. So, yeah, it's a long way for it to go, and now the helicopter has come back. In Europe, you'd have a standby helicopter. I think there's also probably issues. There is a huge international summit of ASEAN nations. That's the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, but Donald Trump's present at it. The Chinese Prime Minister's here. There are other huge dignitaries from around the world that made it here. The European Union head, and all, make it from all over. The Australian Prime Minister Albanese's down here, New Zealand Prime Minister's here. It's a huge event, so that will do with airspace, and that's obviously going to create its own issue. And now, Neil, you are a 50-year-old man. You were one of these riders here in this World Championship at 18 years of age on a little bike like this. How would you have been mindset-wise to probably have seen that going on and then be sent out to do 10 laps?
Yeah, I mean, if you saw the crash, because it was a very, very big crash. It was clear to see, obviously, when two riders collide. If you saw the crash, then you will have been thinking about it all the time between now and then. What I will say, once you put your visor down, once you release the clutch and you set off around the track, you are automatically trained to be fully focused.
But do you remember, sorry to
yes,
put in there,
absolutely.
do you remember even Pecco Bagnaia talking about when we had the minute silence for Jason De Pasquet on the grid in Mugello, how much
that affected him?
It affected him, and it will affect people. That's all for me.
Yeah.
And I think we've been in these sorts of situations before. It just doesn't sit right with me. That might be first opinion. We chose not to show the crash. We have got the footage. We've chosen not to show it because it's pretty grim, isn't it? It's a gruesome crash.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to see the crash. It looked ugly. So I'm with you, by the way. I don't know. I don't think they should have been letting the Moto3 boys race. The championship's done anyway, and there's 2 rounds to go after this. It's not like this is the final round. But anyway, they are doing, and...
But what you're saying is right. I'll come back to you. So you're right. You know, I asked you the question. Yeah, and how would you be as a rider?
Yeah, and I've been there. And right now, it's out on the grid. Everything's natural and normal. This will feel normal now. Obviously, it's a quick start procedure, so they're about to start the warm-up lap. But and you just automatically go into fight mode because it's a scrap. It's a Moto3 race, and you'll be trying to talk yourself up now. Hopefully you've got. We talked about tyres. Some riders might not have got a soft rear tyre left. With the fact that it's a shorter race distance, the soft rear Pirelli is the tyre to be on. So you have an allocation at the start of the weekend, you use them throughout the weekend, and if you try and use them up throughout the weekend, really. So
do you know who doesn't have a soft tyre? Joel Kelso. Do you know who else doesn't have a soft tyre? Nobody. Everyone, bar Joel Kelso, is on a soft tyre. Joel told me on Friday, it's just because of my riding style. I can't use the soft. He knew it at the start of the weekend, so he got them out of his allocation.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean, that is fair enough to go through, but I think 9 times out of 10 we're going to be in for an interesting session. Finally, hello everybody. Welcome up to the comms box. I've seen you in an hour and a half, or well, 1 hour 50 round about that since the red flags came out. 2 hours delayed to the whole day. At least the MotoGP race is happening on time. They've moved Moto2 till afterwards, so it does work out. We will get a day of racing. I don't know why we've decided that the Moto3 should remain at 10 laps only when there is time to run the full distance race and get MotoGP out there. There will be just a 45-minute gap rather than the half hour. It should all still work out the same. We'll be on air continually now. We'll start here on JB Motorsports 2 for Moto3. We'll go over to JB Motorsports in the MotoGP and then back to JB Motorsports 2 for the Moto2 race. All that will be live and you'll be redirected automatically on Twitch. We're staying live throughout the entire day here for all of the action. So, on the warm-up lap then, and this is how they line up. David Almanza, Taio Forasato, Guido Pini, Alvaro Carpe, Valentin Peroni, Maximo Cuelas. Really, without Moreda in the battle now, it's an open strategy to what could happen. We're in for an interesting race here at Malaysia as they come up towards the Old Start grid.
Got top 5 pace. Both those riders I've just mentioned have got nothing to lose at all, everything to gain. And let me just tell you, I've watched them both in the junior championships. They're hard chargers, both very aggressive.
Yeah, well, let's hope that we get 10 safe laps away here in Moto3. It's the Malaysian Grand Prix, round 20 of the championship. If you are just joining us, we've had a huge delay after a horrific crash for new world champion Jose Antonio Rueda on the sighting lap, unsighted. He clattered into the back of Noah Detweiler, who was looking down to the side of his bike, maybe a problem.
We hope that they're okay. They are off at hospital, so we will keep an eye on as we go. But we are all set then for the Moto3 Grand Prix. Lights on! The 2-hour wait is over! The Moto3 Grand Prix of Malaysia is underway with a great start from Taio Forasato. Great start as well for the middle with Guido Pini, Alvaro Carpe. Going to try and come through into second position. Forasato leads into turn 1. Late on the brakes, in we go. Coming up on the inside comes David Almanza. He's been joined by Maximo Cuelas, who takes second position. Cuelas through with a stunning start on 4 places from where he started, that was a better run as they come out of turn 3, uphill towards turn 4. Almanza settles into 4th position. Forasato, Queilas, then Carpe, Almanza, Piqueras, Pini, Peroni, Luca Luganetta, Yamanaka and Yurtai at the front of the field as they all continue to run through. Well, it's a good start as they come through down the back. And hopefully through turn 7 and 8, 9 and 10 coming up shortly as well. Run the inside line. There we go again with Carpe trying to get through on Almanza. Inside line coming through. Turn number 8 gets through. Turn 9 now coming up. Next up, Rushimudi up into 17th position as well. So a better getaway for Asato trying to make the break at the front. Into turn 9. Heavy on the brakes down into first gear. The acute uphill. Left-hander back to the long sweeping right at turn 10. That filters into the kink at turn 11. Little look on the inside line as Rusty Yamanaka gets ahead of Valentin Perone. Down now into towards turns 12, 13 and 14 at the back half of the circuit. Really throwing the bike in to the heavy braking zone. Danish is dropped down to 12th position where he started. Kelso's down 4. Ricardo Rossi and Joel Esteban still in the same positions as where they started as they come out now over the line at the back stretch. This is still lap 1 of 10, same distance as the Tissot sprint race we had yesterday. Lay on the brakes for Asante on the soft tyres, making it work as Almanza goes to the inside line, gets ahead of Queilas, goes a bit too wide. Queilas comes back underneath him, but so does David. Almanza have to regroup and push off Alvaro Carpe. Lap 1 complete for Asato in the lead of the race then as they head back down towards turn number 1. Looking already as Almanza moves to the inside line to get ahead of Queilas. Later the brakes in towards the first corner and Almanza will be able to slip back through a little bit sideways from Queilas as we now see a little bit of a battle. Baqueras up into 4th, Alvaro Carpe down to 5th. So Yamanaka up 5 places. He's the biggest winner on the start. Queilas and Baqueras up 4 places, as is Nicola Caro in 15th position. Now it's only 3 places. Actually, it says 3 and 4 on one monitor, so I don't know which one to believe out of that overall basis of things, but a smooth start. Sean says as well, now let's get racing, hopefully race through smoothly. Queilas learning from his master mark with these quick race starts. It really is having the opportunity to push through as the Pirelli banners in the background, with Pirelli being the tyre sponsors for Moto3 and Moto2. Michelin having Moto3 and MotoGP up the inside for Asato, having to go defensive as David Almanza wants to lead the race through 7 and 8. Up towards turn 9 we go. Everyone going to look for a little look through on the inside line. Late on the brakes. Try and just ride through. Ever so slightly. Come around the outside. Piqueras. That's not going to work. Trying to go around the outside of 2 riders. He's got ahead of Caro, but he can't get ahead of Maximo Queilas, who's in 3rd position. Piqueras going to the inside line. Next is going to get tasty down at 10-11. They're all starting to battle over for positions and still moving themselves out of the way as they come through. Baqueras 4th, Carlo 5th, Pini now down into 6th position as well. Fernandez and then Yamanaka running up into positions as at the inside, forcing wide. That's Queilas taking back 3rd place away from Baqueras. On the back straight we go then once more. Alvaro Carpe in 6th position as well, trying to hold back, but Almanza's on the back of Forasato as they come down towards turn 16. He's thinking about him on the inside line. Still nothing going to happen there. Late in the brakes, it's turn 1. Almanza's taking the lead of the race. Forasato has indeed lost out a little bit. So Forasato down into 2nd. Let's check in with the team. What a start.
On the inside, take the high line, or do you run it deep and try and avoid having to go over the crest?
It's a horrible last corner, it really is. They've made it for, well, we said a few reasons, maybe 1 for drainage, 2 for entertainment, but the riders don't like it. We've had it now for how many years? About 4 years have we had it?
A bit more.
Or is it longer?
9 years.
Oh, is that from when they resurfaced it? Okay, right, yeah. No. It's a strange corner. It's just a very challenging corner. Same for everyone, though.
Yeah, Almanza now leads. That was getting tight through turn 3, turning on the inside Carpe.
This is the crowd.
Fastest man on track. Wild card. Danish, the young Malaysian.
Oh,
and this is
we
the
missed
chair
wild cards.
Yes.
And their impact on races.
Yes,
but he is in as a proper wild card here.
Yeah.
I like it. And he has signed up with that team. He's running as a wild card with the Sepang circuit, a bit Pan-Asian sponsor, with the MSI team as the collaborator, and he's going to join the MSI team next year. So he'll take Piqueras' slot. What a ride he's going to get.
Yeah. Do you know what I love about wildcards? It reminds me of when I first got into Grand Prix racing and watching someone like a Novi Ueda turn up, or a Norikabe, obviously battling with Haga, but Norikabe battling, passing Mick Doohan, and you're like, who's this 19-year-old Japanese rider?
Look at the pack!
As well, back in the day, wildcards, when you could do wildcards.
The packs went together.
He's taken over at the front from Keeles.
So I'm watching Danish in the back of this group pulling some moves.
You look
the crowd cheering.
On that pink bike, keep an eye on the number 13. And every time you hear a cheer,
it's for Danish.
It's for Danish because they absolutely love the motorcycle racing. And it's like a football crowd. Look at Fernandez pulling a move on the inside. Oh.
Well, that's the famous John McPhee corner. That's where John McPhee set it. Well, did he pass 4 riders into there on that last lap?
He was 5th and went first. And held on to it.
And held on to it. Yeah, I don't know how. Well, I'll tell you what, it was because he hit the brakes later than he's probably ever hit them into here.
And he allowed Sasaki, didn't he, to come through, turned underneath him and won that Grand Prix.
Oh, that's close.
This is getting very tight. We've got about 4 riders stuck together in the middle of the pack, and they're all running together. It's the 36, the 83, and the 94 all running in. So Piqueras goes in third. Carpe's got the inside line, trying to go something in towards turn number 1. Laying the brakes 4 side by side because Fernandez coming through the inside line. Laying the brakes, Pini's going way too deep. He's going to force out the front, and that's Quaylas taking down into 3rd position. Up into 2nd goes Almanza. Sato has retaken the lead of the race. So it's lap 4 of 10, 7 to go. We count the lap we're on, remember, and Piqueras down to 7th position as well. Danish in 10th place. Onkel, what a stunking start from him as well. He's going to be in something of a star next year, the young Malaysian rider. They've been forced out wide there. Resalvo, Carpe, Fernandez and Piqueras go back 3 and 4 position change. 24 riders in this race, remember, got a yellow flag out in the 2nd sector, and this was how close it all came to going wrong. For that of, well, I think that's Piqueras. Why is the yellow flag out in 2nd sector? Caught out Buckerman and has crashed as well. Rider okay.
He was at the back of the grid. He crashed in qualifying.
He crashed there actually in qualifying.
Yeah.
Turn 4, same corner. Same crash. Lost the front. It's on the way in.
Yeah. Not got on with this place at all, has he?
No, it's a tricky track. It is. It is a challenging circuit.
Better for knowing, and hopefully he gets another go at it next year. Still a yellow flag out on the racetrack. I'm assuming that's still for Buchanan's crash. Sato leading then on the 72 with the 22 of Almanza behind him. And it's Pini in 3rd. Oh, turning tight. Trying to hold off any attack from Max Keeles. Fernandez is 5th, Piqueras in 6th. Then a slight gap back. Trying to see if Danish had come through there. Yeah, Danish has picked up another. Yeah, slight gap back now to Lunetas. They've been scrapping a bit, haven't they?
Yeah,
I think that was the Carpe running off track.
That's exactly what's happened. That little gap there, it's only because that the, let's say, the second group now have just been knocking lumps out of each other.
And that will bring, I'm sure, the likes of Uriarte and co into the mix. I think it has done. It's tackled them onto the back of it.
Tell you what, Sato gets out of that last corner well, because they were all close together. Look, you see Keeles then gets the gap back. He makes up ground on the brakes, but that Honda's working well.
Oh, Fernandez on teammate, yeah.
What is it about the Leopard team?
Did they take each other out here last year here?
Yeah, yes they did. Yeah. I was going to say, what's about the Leopard team as teammates? I reckon the crew chiefs mustn't get on in that team, and they must be winding the riders up. I mean, that's it's a sort of silly move on your teammate, because it's a proper block pass. It's a bit dirty.
It comes back from Almanza.
Yeah, Piqueras cut himself on the wrong side of that.
It's nothing to do with me.
Yeah, exactly.
Dragging me into this for.
Leave me alone.
All that fighting helps that chasing pack now, led by Carpe, try and get back. And now it is a group all the way back to Marco Morelli in 17th. Although him and Eddie O'Shea might just be being cut adrift slightly. Pini on Keeles now at turn 4.
Yep, Pini
making friends.
Up to 2nd place. Super aggressive, young, wild Italian. He reminds me of a young Valentino Rossi.
There's the friend being made and the phone number being, the call being returned by Max Keeles. That is because Pini put hard one in on him at turn 4. And Keelan has gone, right, you're having it. And then Pini, we've seen this so much in his young career. Guido Pini will just attack.
Well, he doesn't know when he's beat, does he? If he's on the outside, he's shutting off. He's not one of these riders who understands the throttle but works both ways. He's very aggressive, but the problem with riding like that, he's found himself on the floor on too many occasions.
And he will gets a nice shape actually on the bike as he tucks in behind the bubble of the number 94. We're talking about Guido Pini. Listen to the crowd cheering. Danish along in 10th place as Almanza attacks on the inside of Piqueras, goes deep. I think Furasato just is taking that negative camber corner better than anyone.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, what he's doing essentially, he's not braking as late in there, where that little group behind him, all out braking each other, is working on his exit. Bit of corner speed, and then look at that, he pulls probably about 5 bike lengths down that sort of finish straight, and it gives him that breathing room for the lap. Doesn't have to force his tyres as much. He's a smooth rider anyway, the way he rides, if you watch it.
Oh, what a save!
Oh, and saves it!
Wow! He crashed.
He crashed.
What?
I thought he was hit by Pini almost, and somehow he's back on his wheels and he's still in the race.
Maximo Cuelas crashes and then saves it. There's a yellow flag outside in the first sector, and Danish is down, and the Malaysians are going to go absolutely crazy for that. Danish is down and out of the race. There's the reaction from the Malaysian crowd. They can't believe it. But I can't believe that Maximo Cuelas just completely crashed in the first corner and kept the bike up running. That is insanity. That's a Marc Marquez manoeuvre. Brilliant. Just brilliant. You can't ask for more.
Here, it's a technical issue for Danish, we're told.
Oh, even worse. He's not even done anything wrong.
These two scrappy here
are going to mess it up.
Well,
they need to work together. No, they need to work together as a team.
Are they going
to?
Of course they're not. There you go.
Fernandez battling Fernandez on the inside line.
Yeah, exactly.
Amanda's furious.
Amanda's like, what are you doing? You've literally just cost us 3 tenths. Let's wave goodbye to the leader and let's battle for third instead. That'll work out really well.
I've got very angry.
Well, it's just just use your common sense. You bet your teammate. You think, perfect, I'll get a good run onto the straight, I'll pass him on the straight, and then we're going to go to another straight. He'll do the same to me, and we'll gain 3 tenths on the guy at the front.
From half a second through sector 1, it's now 1 second.
Yeah.
Or the third sector.
Because of a... Don't get me wrong, on the last lap, you can pull those crazy moves.
Look at Piqueras hooking the curve. Whereas Furasato does his own line through there and across the line. He comes to it with 4 to go. Furasato has never won a Grand Prix before. He's now 9 tenths clear of Adrian Fernandez with 4 laps remaining in this Malaysian Grand Prix. Piqueras, meanwhile, attacking on the brakes. He's getting to his part of the race now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where he starts making these kinds of moves. Pini also coming through. Thought Almanza was going to come back at him. Still Quiles is in the race, battling with Scott Ogden, who was in that group, with Brian Uriarte as well.
There he is, that's Brian there, behind Quiles.
Just see at the back of your picture, Ogden up to 9th place now.
We've got the replay of the crash. Look, he's off the bike. Or maybe not.
Does he get knocked on it by Pini?
Did Pini help him? As in, give him a little nudge to actually get back on the bike.
Remarkable, isn't it? So, Furasato at the front, 0.9 the gap. And now Almanza isn't going to be there to attack his teammate, or if Pini's going to get involved. Piqueras taking a high line, shall we call it?
Yeah, that's a high line. You're allowed to do that. That's him taking advantage of the grasscrete, which is concrete squares with grass growing through it. There's more grip on them than you'd think.
Yeah.
We've only learnt that this weekend because most of these Moto3 riders have been out on it. There we go.
It's a late one from Almanza on Piqueras now, and all this costs them time. Their chance of winning this race, you feel like with every single one of those moves gets further away.
So we've got Furasato, who's got a, 0.9 of a second lead. He's not won a Grand Prix. He's finished second on numerous occasions.
He really
every time he's been interviewed in the Parc Fermé, he's been very disappointed with himself.
Adrian Fernandez has not won a Grand Prix, and he's still in second place in this race.
Yeah,
Guido Pini has not won a Grand Prix. David Almanza has not won a Grand Prix.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not even had a podium this year, no.
And then the group behind, there's Brian Uriarte in his second ever Grand Prix as a replacement rider for Munoz.
Well, this is fascinating.
He needs a second. He's got ahead of Fernandez.
Now has a second lead with 3 to go. It's a very strange day. The world champion has been seriously injured in a crash on a sighting lap with Noah Detmiller. We wish them both well. We hope for good news coming from hospital in Kuala Lumpur. They were medevaced out to that hospital, and in their absence, we've got a Moto3 race. We're surprised we're seeing it, but Moto3 still pushing on hard as we have seen so far.
Wow, Pini. Well, watch Pini through those first 2 corners. The thing was on the move. But this is where Pini's all in. Pini's not thinking, tell you what, looks like I've a chance here, I'll take a podium. He's like, he doesn't know when he's beat. He will throw everything at it to try and close in on Furasato.
And he is, isn't he?
Look at him go. That's the man I'm talking about in second. He's so tall. What will he be? 6 foot, Gav? He must be. Like I said, he reminds me of Valentino. That's obviously what Valentino looked like on the 125s back in the day. All arms and legs, big hands, big feet, and a big heart. Bit of a smiling assassin as well, isn't he, Pini? He's a real happy-go-lucky character.
1.2 seconds, though, the gap to Furasato out front. There will be full race points on offer for this one for Tayo Furasato, who is searching for that first Grand Prix victory.
So I'm going to have to shout out for Scott Ogden, who's in that second. Yeah. This looks like his best ride of the year, I'd say, having been in the doldrums. A little bit of difficult, struggling with a bit of confidence and form. Certainly during the flyaways, it looks like, but this is more like the Scott Ogden we know.
Yeah, he's in front of Alvaro Carpe in 9th place and scrapping well. The short race distance perhaps helping him to just push on that little bit more, knowing that he doesn't have to keep any tyre for those final 5 laps that we should have had in this Moto3 race. They're ahead of Perrone and Kelso, and that's great for Scott Ogden. You can see him on the back in the green bike with the pink number.
Yeah, and if you look at the back of the shot, we haven't mentioned him much. Is Eddie O'Shea having such a much better weekend. Best qualifying position of the year, best race of the year, really. He's only 8 seconds behind these. And just not quite.
Oh, hello! And another crash and save, this time from Almanza on a negative camber final corner. How on earth are they doing it? I mean, you are helped
soft tires
slightly in the fact that you're nearer to the ground, but that's the only thing you've got going in your favour.
Yeah, I just saw a leg pointed vertical.
Well, remarkable. Fernandez on Pini now. This could be sealing for
Pini. Pini, brilliant
straight
move.
Back. And this is helping Furasato.
Yeah. I mean, we've got 2 laps to go. Furasato's got a 1.1 second lead.
It'll go out more surely now
after that first cut of shenanigans. It makes, like, with 2 laps to go, when you've got 1 second lead, you know in your head it's done. But Furasato's never won a Grand Prix, so then the thoughts start to wander in. It's negative, negative thoughts. Don't make a mistake. You've just got to focus corner by corner, keep it smooth, don't panic.
How does Keeler keep it rolling there when he goes on that concrete on the outside of the racetrack? Look at Almanza, the second lane by.
Like you say, it's exactly the same. I know it was turn 2 where we saw Keeler's have his moment, but he was down there. That was a crash.
I mean, the saves are happening now all the time. It's part and parcel of the game.
It's the knock-on effect from Marc Marquez. It's the reality. All these kids, when they grew up, when they were born, Marc Marquez was winning championships, and
Marc Marquez was learning the leg angle off Valentino Rossi.
Exactly, and that's how the progression of our sport comes. So that's the grasscrete.
Yeah, just affected his exit speed.
I tell you what, though, Fernandez is always borderline a little bit too aggressive. Borderline being dangerous.
Well, ask David Munoz about it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Like, actually, it weren't as bad from that angle,
no. So, Fernandez second, Pini third, Keras fourth. Who's going to complete the podium? Behind Tayo Furasato, barring at his aster here for the Japanese rider.
Well, we've got 3 of the most aggressive riders I've ever seen ever, so I'm guessing if all 3 of these riders finish, I'd be quite impressed.
Well, Pini sideways, dropping down.
Oh, contact!
There we go.
Pini out!
Make it to the corner, the next corner. Unfortunately, he was coming, he was in the post, and Guido Pini has sent it down the road.
And he's out of the race.
Hey, listen,
contact with Fernandez.
Really good to be aggressive. You have to be aggressive, it's part of racing. But that was just silly. It was obvious it was going to happen.
So, Tayo Furasato is out front now with a margin of 1.7 seconds before he wins his first Grand Prix in strange circumstances here. Brian Uriarte is in 4th. ahead of Max Quiles in just his second appearance in Grand Prix racing. Here we go again, shall we say.
And if you're Max Quiles, you're like, no, I'm the young sensation. I'm the next cab off the rank. I'm the man everyone's talking about.
I was 5th in my first race, and I was on the podium in my 3rd race. You can't have this. Behind, Piqueras has a big look over his shoulder at Fernandez, who made that big mistake into the final corner. There's a move coming from Fernandez. I'm telling you, there is a move coming. He's putting it in an envelope.
Hang on.
And he's getting ready to send it.
Hang on.
Here it is.
It's no, you don't have to be Mystic Meg for this one. I mean,
she always got it wrong, didn't she?
It's Fernandez. It's the last lap. Of course, there's a move coming. It's how clean is it going to be? He's on the wrong side of him there, though. He doesn't want to be on the outside. It doesn't matter. Here we go.
Oh, the inside.
The inside.
Yeah, he's got it. Oh, there again, Fernandez, he crashed.
Down as well into turn 9, and that's his chance gone.
He almost crashed it again. And what's happened? Because look at that. Look, we've got Quiles down in 8th and Yurtai's down in 9th. So they have also run in together and dropped further back on this last lap. And now Armanza battling with Alvaro Carpe over 4th position. Amazing couple of corners here in Malaysia. At the inside, Hikazusa Yamanaka taking 5th position. But I don't think anybody will deny who deserves this Malaysia Grand Prix is Tayo Furusato. For so long, he's been waiting in the shadows. He's been so close to a race win time and time again. It's arrived today. Tayo Furusato is finally a Moto3 Grand Prix winner in Malaysia. Piqueras in 2nd. Fernandez takes 3rd. Armanza, Yamanaka, Carpe, Quiles, Ogden, Yurtai and Peroni in the top 10. But that, finally, is the monkey off the back. He is a race winner. Tayo Furusato wins the Malaysian Moto3 Grand Prix. And that is absolutely fantastic. And now there's a yellow flag out of the first corner. What could possibly happen post-race? Unbelievable.
Don't celebrate this. That might be a case of Piqueras or whatever. And Scott Ogden saying congratulations to him for his first Grand Prix win. But they are, you know, however much this lot knock lumps out of each other, it's this moment, isn't it, where they'll all know what's gone on previously.
But that's exactly what happens. Now you click back into reality. Now you as you're calming down, the adrenaline's going out of your blood, you're aware of the, let's say, the bigger story today.
Tayo Furusato wins his first race. The few Japanese fans here that we've seen all the way through the weekend. Agura fans holding up the number 72 as well.
Wait till you see him. If you've not seen him before, wait till you see him when he takes his helmet off. He looks about 12. He's the cutest, sweetest little lad. I know he's a young man, but he's just great, isn't he?
Until he puts his visor down.
That visor's, it looks dark. It's solid. You can't see through it. I tell you what, over the years we've seen him pull some aggressive moves. We've questioned his peripheral vision at times, but I'm so pleased to see him win, and for the team, because they've had it tough as well in recent years.
Yeah, they have, because they've brought through the likes of Ayagura and Somkiat Chantra, and they've helped take them up into MotoGP. You know, they had to leave, Agura had to leave to plough his own for. And really, you know, the aim is for them to bring those riders through to the floor. Ayumi Sasaki and the people who've been there over the years. And it's just stalled a bit, hasn't it?
It looks that way, but it's rides like this that just restores the faith for everyone concerned, everyone involved in the team, obviously, and certainly the riders.
Piqueras, you know, when everyone else is putting in silly moves, I didn't see a silly one from Piqueras.
No.
And that's why, weren't they?
And that's why he sort of ended up second in a way, really, didn't he? He didn't do the really silly moves. I mean, Guido Pini's move in that last corner with a couple of laps to go it was never going to work out, was it?
Only lost 10 seconds in that crash, though. Remounted to finish 16th. This was Fernandez and Piqueras down towards turn 9.
Yeah, we saw it coming, didn't we? Fernandez, the reality is, you can't always pass, so he's come from way too far back, so you are going to go wide if you do get through. Look at that. I mean, look at just all riding over the limit. It comes to when the adrenaline's at its highest, when your heart rate's at its highest, who can control it? Who's in control? It's a real hard part of racing because you can't replicate it in anything you do. In training, you can't replicate that high stress situation.
And for a sort of control, it was from the start.
Yeah. Literally, he got the whole shot, didn't he? And no one got close to him. But you called it right. It was the exit out of the last corner, and that gave him breathing room. What it did, it meant no one was in striking distance to even attempt to pass.
Yeah, class ride that is from Tayo Furusato. Really pleased for him. Difficult circumstances as well for the Moto3 runners and riders. And he has won his first Moto3 Grand Prix. Really good crew of experienced mechanics. Imagine Hiroshi Oyama is delighted to finally see, because I reckon there've been a few heart-to-hearts, a few tough conversations between Hiro and Tayo.
Yeah, there has, because if you think of last year with some of them second-place finishers, and then we've seen a little dip in form as well, which it can happen.
Only had 2 podiums up to this point this year.
Yeah, well, you'd say this season's been disappointing. He will say this season's been disappointing, but he won't be saying it now.
That cool Alpine Stars helmet on as well.
Looks good, that, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, we've always liked his helmet design anyway, haven't we? He's got one of the cooler helmet designs.
Family down there as well. I'm really pleased for him. Good people. Hiroshi Oyama, as you'd expect, keeping it under wraps.
Well, ice cool Hiroshi Oyama.
Last ever 250cc world champion was Hiro. Max Gieler's just not been right all weekend, has he?
No, it's been slightly off. I mean, he should count his lucky stars. He crashed earlier in the race, if you remember.
Oh, yeah.
Somehow stayed on it.
Oh, that was with Uriarte. That's what happened there. That's where Uriarte went backwards.
You can imagine there's no love lost between them, those young riders. They they're good together. They will have raced against each other in so many different championships over the years.
Yeah, both 17 years old.
Yeah. You can imagine the amount of tussles they will have had. Hey, there's lots to look forward to the future, though, because they will. My feeling is we'll see these both young riders in MotoGP at some point. Would you agree?
Yeah. I have confirmation of Max Gieler's as Rookie of the Year. I mean, we knew that was coming pretty much. But what it does do, I will say, with Piqueras second, Diogo Moreira is down to celebrate that with Furusato. Piqueras had only 3 points breathing room over Quiles for second in the championship. That has now gone out to 14. Here's Hakim Danish. I feel for him. He'd have been in the mix. I've got a feeling he would have been in the mix for the podium.
He'd have been right in the mix. He was in that lead group when his bike stopped.
That's not going to be easy to get a cap over.
He's done
it. Well, it's only where the photographers are. I hope the photographer sends it up to the fans. Oh, good on him.
No, he should have. If I was a photographer, I'd just put it on my head and walked off. Hey, and this is how you get fans, though. This is how you get people behind you. Good lad. So good to see.
Piqueras, second solid ride from him. I wonder what Christian Lundberg, we heard from him earlier, I wonder what he's saying to Fernandez and Almanza. They clearly don't get on.
No, I think it's hard to get on with Adrian Fernandez, though. It appears that way.
It's that impression.
He seems like a very aggressive rider who's only thinking about the next corner.
Oh. I don't think we're going to get any Parc Fermé interviews. We were told there wouldn't be any, but we'd go straight to the podium. There's Brian Uriarte, 9th place today. Shoved off track by one of his old sparring partners, but yeah, he can be proud. It's a good weekend he's put in.
He can be really proud. The best is yet to come for that young man, and obviously we'll see him in Portimao, a track that he knows really well, and we'll see him in Valencia, another track, so he'll be battling at the front.
This will give Hakim a real boost, won't it? To feel the warmth of the crowd at a home race like that.
Absolutely.
Well, like I said, we've watched him in the Junior Championships. He's fast.
Well, he led the Rookies Championship, beating Uriarte, I'll point out, until 2 rounds to go.
Exactly. So we'll see a lot of this young man in the future. And he's not just here because of his passport. That's what I want to underline. It's he's here because of his raw speed.
Yeah, crucially, there's him. There's Veda Pratima from Indonesia as well. They finished 2nd and 3rd in the Rookies Championship this year. And if you thought Pini and co were aggressive, wait till you see Veda Pratima.
I say every year, what is it about the Red Bull Rookies? They seem to get, the races get more and more aggro, wild, every year.
Hatchet men of Moto3. Right, we're just waiting for the podium here. Won't be any champagne. Oh, it looks like the corks are in them. To be the right thing, wouldn't it? Just, we don't know. Again, a reminder, we don't know the situation with Jose Antonio Rueda, our new world champion in Moto3. We don't know the situation with Noah Detwiller. If you have just joined us, you might have just got up hoping or expecting to see Moto2 at the moment. That will come at the end of the day now. We'll have MotoGP coming up next. And then they're in hospital. They've been helicoptered to hospital after a horrible looking smash on the sighting lap of the Moto3 race. MotoGP will be coming up next. UK time, 7 AM race start. Moto2 will be at 8:30 AM UK time. Okay. Hiroshi Aoyama runs a really good team down there.
I'm guessing it's his birthday.
Did he win the World Championship on his birthday? I've got that's something that, because he won it here in Malaysia.
If you've got that logged somewhere, then I'm guessing it's correct.
Been known to make a few things up.
A few.
Adrian Fernandez then steps onto the podium, as does Angel Piqueras. But it'll be all smiles for Tayo Furusato. You know, of course, this team have supported not just Japanese riders, but riders from across the Asian region. There will be popular winners here. Big for the sponsors, Idemitsu as well, as he holds aloft that trophy.
Next, please welcome.
His birthday was yesterday, Hiroshi Aoyama. There we are.
Oh yeah, I thought so. I remember that.
Yeah. And he won the title the day after his birthday in 09. Oh, yeah. I knew there was something ringing.
I knew you got it wrong.
Ringing around my head. Thanks to Stephen Day for that information. He's got time to send that through. He said he knew that. What a geek. What a geek. So, Adrian Fernandez collects his trophy for 3rd. And now 2nd place trophy for Angel Piqueras. Now, let's see the trophy presentation. For the first time in his Grand Prix career, Tayo Furusato, his 77th Grand Prix from Kanova in Japan, from Giovanni Coppioli handing over the trophy. His first ever win in the Grand Prix World Championship comes here in Malaysia. And let's have a listen to the Japanese national anthem. Emotional scenes on the podium here in Malaysia. There will be no champagne after that horrific accident for Rueda and for Detmiller earlier. Tears flooding for Hiroshi Aoyama as Taya Furusato wins for the first time. We'll have any interviews when we can get them. There won't be any champagne sprayed here. And then we'll take a quick break. When we come back, Susie will be back in the paddock, building up to the MotoGP race here in Sepang.
Yep, and no champagne is the correct decision as well after the accident, as we've just seen. Okay, we're going to stay on air throughout the day here on Malaysia. We're going to shift over our coverage to JB Motorsports and start the prep work for MotoGP. But the Moto3 race has been won by Taya Furusato. His first ever win in motorcycle Premier Class racing. We'll see you later on for all the action. We'll be back on JB2 for Moto2, but now you'll be redirected as we get ready to go for the MotoGP Grand Prix. We'll see you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.